stressing me out.
I was freaking out with these in the museum.
Yeah, I was like, it's been here too long. I don't want anything to happen to it. Everyone get away.
Were you really worried about it?
A little bit.
I mean,
It just doesn't belong to us, I just want it to be in its home.
We got $7-8 million cars, and this desk is my main concern.
Yeah.
All right. The Marconis are here, everybody. The Marconis are here. What's going on? Welcome back to the Kitchen Counter, where we start the show every Tuesday and Thursday. My name is Jay Ryan. You are here for Cars and Comedy in the Late Night Playset. We are very, very happy that you are. It's a good night. It's a special night. The Marconis are the first guest who's ever had 2 appearances in the same month. Ever. It's amazing. They were here they were the last show right before we did the live event at their museum. And then tonight we're here to do the recap of how that all went. And they brought flowers and a great old big check. So we're gonna disclose all of that with you this evening. It's very exciting for us. Also, welcome back to our friend up in Canada who is live, not in Canada, but in Vegas on Fremont Street. What's up, Canada Mike?
Now everybody in the 111, put your hands up in the air now and have some fun. Woo!
Oh, is that for Coolio?
Well, and for the 111. I'm in front of the legendary Golden Nugget. Look at this, the legendary Golden Nugget, and watch this. Brought to you by Starbucks, because corporate has to, join the classic. There it is.
I don't think they're an actual sponsor, but that'd be swell. If you turned your phone sideways, I bet we'd see more of it.
All right, let's do it.
Ah, there we go.
That's scary.
Oh, it's good. So we've got Canadian Mike. I don't know how long he'll be with us. Are you here for the whole night, or are you just checking in?
No, man, I'm about to go into a steakhouse with my friends. I miss you, I love you, and I don't want to interrupt this amazing episode with the Marconis. I just did want to be a part of it, though. So thank you for letting me do that, and I cannot wait to catch up with all of our adventures on Tuesday.
The same here. Do you want to just tell the people why you're in Vegas? Because it's kind of a good reason.
Yeah, I'm in Vegas because of Cauliflower Alley, which is a wrestling fraternity. So I got to go and do a financial seminar for a bunch of wrestlers, and then I got to interview legendary wrestler Sam Houston in front of, hundreds of people. So that was a lot of fun. And did a little Letterman podcast business as well. Jerry the King Lawler will be coming on the Letterman podcast to talk about Andy Kaufman and that beautiful night. He's already given me so much information about that time. And yeah, man, just a lot of fun. And thank you for letting me photobomb your episode. But this is special. This is very special with the Marconis and the relationship you guys have and what's happening moving forward with the Cars and Comedy Show. Just so excited to be a part of this. I love all of you. And thank you for letting me be here tonight.
Wow. Well, all right. Gee whiz. On that note, Will, take it away. somebody had the bubbles
Remember
before.
Hobo Kelly?
No.
No, that's before your time.
Yeah.
I've heard about Hobo Kelly.
All right, well, we are back, everybody. Welcome back. Oh, this is great. I don't need this. This was the, they did an update on the app, so I don't need the IP addresses anymore. Everything says the name of the cameras. Thank God. Thank God. Welcome back. And let's all celebrate together on that one. Tonight is, if I didn't tell you earlier, tonight is September 29th. It's a Thursday night. And we have got the Marconi Foundation for Kids here with us. We are very excited to talk about how our live event went there, what's going on with the museum, what events are coming up, because they don't seem to stop with you guys. You can't enjoy the last one because you're already prepping for the new one.
Yeah, always.
6 months in advance, usually.
That's a lie. We throw them on in a month.
Well, this one we did.
Every single one.
Weeks.
This
Yeah.
one we did throw together in a month.
we
That was
did.
kind of amazing. But anyway, so we're going to be talking about that stuff, as well as there's literally a game show-sized check over here that we're going to look at as well.
We're dramatic.
And what's that?
We're dramatic.
Oh, well, that's good. I mean, that's
good.
yeah, this is a video podcast. You want
Yeah.
the whole big thing. Can you tell people? And the check is so big. How big was it? Who had the bubbles? You got me. Oh, Lawrence Welk.
Lawrence Welk. That's right. I
A one and then a two.
as soon as I saw it, I clicked on saying Lawrence Welk.
When I asked
Yeah.
you, it popped into my head. Too.
Well,
Old guys over here. Old guys enjoying the show. All right, so let's see. We got to do a little bit of business here before we start talking to the Marconis, but that is what we're doing tonight. We're celebrating the event we did have, and we're going to talk about the event we'll do again in the future. We're really excited about the next one. I've got so many ideas for how to make it better and tighter and more. It was already enjoyable, but like I've got ways to make it more enjoyable now that we know what it's like.
Yeah, proof of concept.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. Gee whiz, in the news, Hurricane Ian. I wouldn't normally bring this type of thing up, but my mother lives in Punta Gorda, Florida, which was supposed to be sort of not really on the path. Direct hit.
Nick is there now.
ready for
Really?
the-
His
yeah.
whole family.
Nick, our PR director.
Sure.
Yeah.
The water was
not
chest
good.
deep in their mom's house.
Was he in Fort Myers? Because I saw him checking in around Fort
Naples.
Myers.
Yeah,
He was
around
in,
the
he's in
area.
Naples.
Yes,
Anthony and he and the family are there, and it's they're
Everybody's
the
good.
house
Everybody's
is,
safe.
House is trashed.
But it's
Is it?
Yeah, it's completely trashed.
Oh, my
It is.
gosh.
The water was chest deep in the house.
Yeah.
Lordy.
It's rough.
And
I'll
it's
just
just
reposition your camera while you tell us this awful news.
yep.
Yeah. Did you see that? Did you see that
It's-
McLaren
Yeah.
floating around? Whoa.
I saw that too.
Yeah, that was right down the
Horrible.
block from where they were. I didn't realize P1s float.
Well, I think anything new
Enough.
does because it's airtight, right?
Yeah,
and then
right.
all that carbon is so light.
Yeah, it's just
That's a
floating
bad
down the
deal.
street.
That's a real bad deal.
In all fairness, when it was still in the garage.
Yeah.
Is your phone playing in your? Somebody, maybe mine
Nope.
is. Is it me? Hello?
Nope, not
All
me.
right.
We left him in the green room
just in
because
case.
Could be anything.
I couldn't trust myself.
Could be anything. Maybe I forgot to turn the music off. I don't know. Can anybody else hear anything? Maybe it's just me. All right, we're good. If somebody would make a comment if it was bad.
I cannot.
Did you see when it was still in the garage before it floated out
Yes,
by the
with
tree?
the Bentley.
The Bentley was floating too.
Sloshing around, yeah.
That's
And then
what
the
I
guys
thought.
just had their phones out, just like kind of.
What do you do?
I'm like,
What can you do?
Yeah, you can't do anything. You just be
Well,
sad.
go sit on it?
Yeah, just be sad.
Ride
and
it?
Stare at it. Yeah.
Document it for the insurance company.
Yeah.
Mom went radio. Maybe it's Vegas sounds. No, he's out of here. I'm telling you, I hear something. Nobody hears what's
I can
going on in
hear
my
it.
head. Nobody.
I
No one.
think it's the little green laser lights.
But my mom went radio silent last night. Sometime, we're not
Okay.
we go bouts without talking, so it wasn't like the biggest deal that we hadn't checked in. But I asked her in the afternoon. I said, "Hey, I kind of just heard about this hurricane thing. I knew it was coming, but I didn't know it was going to affect you till now." And she goes, "Yep, it's going to be a direct hit, and we're staying at home." And she showed me a picture of out her back where the pool was, and they've got they're in Punta Gorda, so it's all those little fingers of like Venice Canal type
Yes.
thing.
Yes, yes.
And their boat was pulled out of the water, which they do. They got that
Yeah.
raised thing.
Raised lift, yeah.
And this was when it was raining really hard, but like I don't know how much wind or anything was. And these were photos versus video. And then she disappeared, and then she showed up sometime around noon or so today, which is in the afternoon, I guess. No power, no water. House fine. Yard destroyed.
Yeah.
And they got a new boat because a new boat wedged its way up onto their property.
Gosh.
There's a lot of that going around.
Oh, I'm glad
Yeah.
they're okay.
Thank God they're okay. I thought they were nuts for staying there, but I mean, if it was me, I'd probably stay there too.
It's like, hey, I know where I'm at. We're good. We've been through this.
Floridians
This is a huge one.
ride it out.
I
a lot
have
of them ride it out.
never. I didn't know a lot about Hurricane Sydney, our event coordinator, because her family's in Florida as well. I totally schooled on hurricanes now. She was straight giving me all of the encyclopedia for hurricanes. I was like, my gosh, holy cow!
Because
so
she's been
ignorant.
through it her whole life, she just knows from living down there.
She lived in Florida, I think, pretty much her whole life. And
Yeah.
there was she told me today, there's a time that there was 4 in a row. She had off for a couple weeks from school.
Yeah.
Because it was continuous, but there hasn't been this big a one in a long, long time.
Before Punta Gorda, my mom lived in Key Largo, which gets
Oh,
hit all the
my
time. The
gosh.
whole
Oh,
the
man.
whole landmass is only 3
Yeah.
blocks wide, right? You got the ocean and the Gulf.
Yeah.
And they used to get hit all the time. And they're all kind of, I don't want to say trailer homes is not true, but they're all homes that are sort of built to be destroyed and rebuilt.
They're kind of double wide,
Or
but
haul-
fancy.
New wheels.
Yeah,
and hauled,
honestly, yeah, that
Prefabbed,
kind of thing.
planted.
That kind
Yeah,
of thing.
absolutely.
new
And-
wheels
and-
and hauled back in.
Yeah, because
It's
it's
kinda
developments
probably
of these things,
yeah,
right?
it's
And that's
kinda
all
for the
there
best.
is.
That way, you have a website, you just put a new one.
I think so. And I think some people literally hook a truck up and put some wheels on it and just go out.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you can actually do that
It's
with
tough.
those houses or not.
It's
but-
a brutal. It's a wonderful place when it's wonderful, but when it's not, it's
man.
brutal.
Yeah, Mother
That's what she
Nature
said. She
is-
goes, but it's paradise all the other times. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, well, all
Except
right.
when you almost die. But you got a new boat.
They got another boat. And then the other thing was they had this other boat that they've been trying to sell for a long time, like a bigger boat that can't be at the house. It's out somewhere else. And I'm thinking to myself, I hope that got destroyed because they haven't been able to sell it. So it'd be a great thing
Like
if
some
that kind
insurance
of,
money.
well, something. Then at least it's out of your life. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Meanwhile, they've been stressing about it for 6 months of, it's the type of thing that it only loses money while it
Yeah.
sits there.
Definitely.
Anyway, so it seems like Mom and Dave are fine. Thank
Good.
God. Thank God they're fine. Mom and Dave get into fights sometimes. So Mom has a condo very nearby, which has
Nice.
water and power. So they are now moving to
Good.
the condo temporarily while they figure out the rest. It's probably going to be weeks before they get power back on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the whole island of Cuba got wiped out of power, and I remember a couple years ago, it was Puerto Rico.
Puerto
They all
Rico.
got
Oh,
wiped
yeah.
out. Same thing.
Well,
It's
like
like
Puerto
everybody's
Rico was
cars-
bad. It literally bankrupted that state or the
Yeah.
state. It was a bad deal.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they still haven't recovered completely. A lot of the hotels are still shut down.
I agree with that, and I think the same thing's going to happen for Cuba now if it was as bad as they say, that the entire nation's electrical grid was wiped out. Like, oh.
Oh, cool.
I mean, I know their nation's like the size of Florida, but still.
Yeah.
That's a lot to comprehend.
Absolutely.
On a happier note,
Oh, yeah, go
You
ahead.
have to go
Sure.
through your.
I got
Yeah, I
something-
got to do some business, but go ahead. We're winging it.
I got something for the princess.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Thanks
I mean, of course.
much. So good to see you. Thank
Oh,
you.
it's good to see you. It's good to be seen.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's Flower City this week.
Are you getting a lot of flowers?
She got flowers on Tuesday from
I
the
tried
from
to
the
not
guests.
make it, too pink. We want to make it, a little.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I saw the ones in there. Thanks for organizing.
You're welcome. I put him in a vase. You're welcome.
Nice. Good. You always have to have a
It's
bib.
the weird things you don't think that you can't do, and I can't. So
Yeah.
thank you.
That's
Oh,
what
I
you
see.
mean. Oh, you're
Yeah.
welcome. Tremendous amount of love for you, young lady, in the internet world. I posted a picture yesterday that I thought I was just blowing off some steam of hey, we've been going through a lot, and just want to let you know today, mentally the load got a little lighter.
Yeah.
And the outpouring of love for you in that the amount of likes and comments is ridiculous.
We're all obsessed with you.
You would think I posted a new car. Yeah, like a spy shot of a new car
Oh,
or
yeah.
something. There's like 900 likes on that. There's 173 comments. People love you, young lady.
a
So
rock
keep
star.
doing what you're doing. I know it sucks for you, but you're making a difference to a lot of other people.
Then I'm not gonna say it's worth it because I love her Roman, but that's a good lens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So keep
I'll
doing
take
it. I was blown away. I mean, it's. I was on the phone with Magnus earlier today. Name drop. Sorry. And we were talking about it, and it was like, it doesn't matter how much effort or how much money you put into your lens or how long it took you to take a photo and put a post together, whatever. The ones that are just off the top of the cuff or off the shoot from your hip, whatever that saying is
Yeah.
that you do. When it's real quick and fire those off, man, it's crazy the reception. I had
Always.
no idea.
Always.
I knew people loved you. It wasn't that, but that was crazy.
We're a good team.
Yeah.
You make me look nice. Like you put flowers in my room.
Don't tell everybody the secret.
Nah, I'm sorry, it's the other way around.
Yes,
You make him look
but
nice.
We're a good team.
Absolutely.
That's how good I am, John. That's how good I am. All right, so Hurricane Ian, fuck you. You know, that's what I say. You didn't get my mom, so fuck you. I don't know if you were intentionally trying for it, but they made a beeline for her at the end there, so I'm thinking he was going for it. That's what we're talking about. Okay, now some business. Christian James Hand, October 7th, everybody. First of all, Christian James Hand's Instagram got hacked. He is aware. The whole team is aware, but don't do any crypto trading on advice from Christian James Hand. He's not the guy for that. But if you want to go see his live show in Hollywood on October 7th, it's at Sunrose Music in the Sunrose Room. Go to sunrosemusic.com for tickets. He's a great guy, and the show is ridiculous, the session live. Also, this is totally weird, but it just came up yesterday or the other day on the show, and same thing, talking to Mike from F40 Motorsports, Wayne Carini's place in Connecticut, from the Chasing Classic Car Show. And if anybody happens to be looking for an original 240Z delivered to Bob Sharp Nissan, I forget what he said the mileage was. It was like 14,000, something insanely low. Silver on red, all original, one owner. Call Mike at F40 Motorsports. We don't normally sell cars on this show, but I both worked at Bob Sharp Nissan when I was a kid, and I commented on his post, and he's like, "Oh, let me know if you're looking for anything." So,
nice.
passing it on if anybody out here is looking for that kind of car. People are starting to collect the Z's, especially those old ones, and
My
they're starting to
mom
get some
had-
money.
My mom
Near and
had
dear, yeah. My wife had one, or her mom had one.
Was it
And those
two-
are near and
the
dear
280s,
to
yeah?
our heart. Yeah, she had the 80, but the 40 is the 40 with the three SU carburetors. That was the epitome of what it was.
Yeah, it was called French beige, but it was like the champagne color with burgundy interior.
I
She
love
was
that.
Obsessed with that car. She
This is
loved
silver
it.
on red. I
Yeah.
love those
That's a
wild
great car.
combinations.
I
That was
do
the
too.
first new car she ever bought.
Yeah,
And she
yeah,
was
yeah.
all excited about
I
that.
love the deep kind of burgundy. I love a red interior.
That was
it velour probably too, right?
Yeah, it was. It
That
was definitely.
Awesome.
That was BJ before John.
Yeah, before John.
There's a whole.
Yeah,
That's before John. Yeah, that's I when I met her, she had the car.
yeah.
That's hilarious. And then what'd you get her into? Was it not enough horsepower for you?
Everything.
Is that what it
Yeah,
was? Couldn't
her
drive it
Cuda,
sideways?
You know her Cuda. Her
Oh, yeah.
Her sassy grass green Cuda. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's into that. So
That
She
was
likes
Sean's
fast
one of his
cars.
favorite cars in your whole museum.
He loved that car.
Yeah.
That YouTube was a great video. We had a great time doing it. Sean is
So cool.
he is one of, and I've talked to a lot of people, and we both have.
Yeah.
He is one of the coolest guys. You just sit down. He's just one of those guys.
Yeah.
Super real.
He rarely does. There's no F-bombs. He's very mellow at what he does. He knows what he's talking about, and he's one of those guys you sit down across from, and he's just going, "What a neat guy."
Yeah,
and
he's really cool.
he's just. I got nothing that I can say but positive about the guy.
Yeah, the whole
I know it
team is
sounds
cool.
really weird. It's not a bromance, but it is just
It's turning into.
He's
it.
one of those
It
guys
sounds
who-
like it might be, but
getting
I have
there.
no issues with that at all.
He's
I'm
one
more
of those guys
concerned
you
with.
just enjoy being with, like
Yeah.
you two. It's just one of those things that it's natural.
You said it was positive that no F-bombs. Are you upset that I cursed the hurricane?
Oh no,
Sorry
not at
about
all.
that.
Oh,
No.
we
That is
had to
worth.
tame it down.
That's
for him.
worth cursing.
Yeah,
'Cause-
we have to have we're not gonna cuss as much as we normally do on this show.
Yeah.
'Cause people are watching.
That's right. I know. Boy, it'd be funny. I guess we can't tell everybody why we had to take the last episode down because it doesn't make any sense.
Barry-
'Cause we can't talk about it again.
Barry McGuire's on our board. He's a very spiritual individual. He said a couple things that I want you to do. I want you to start curbing your language. I said,
Yeah.
yes, Barry, I will do that.
You know, there's nothing wrong with being you, but there's nothing wrong with appealing to a wider audience too.
Very true.
Fact.
But I like a good F-bomb.
I mean, it's like it's balance. It's balance.
It's
He's not
balance.
going to stop doing it,
No,
but perhaps
but it's
now when he
balance.
does it, it's a little bit more poignant.
Yes, and it's like funnier because it's not all the time.
I don't think anybody could stop him from being him.
No,
And that's one of the
definitely
things I
not.
like
Definitely
about
not.
him.
He can't be tamed.
Him, you, him.
My filter was broken when I was born,
Yeah.
Really?
and it's gotten
broken,
worse.
yeah.
So Monique has to constantly keep the bit in my mouth to keep.
Yeah,
me,
I gotta
keep
go
me
like
back
he
down.
walks in and you're like apologize on his behalf as he goes along. I'm sorry.
Well, you're going to love this next one then. Also, tune into the Letterman podcast, everybody. The host of the Letterman podcast, who you just saw in Vegas there, Mike, his guest on the show on Friday was I can't say it, obviously, but I'll say the FU guy from Letterman. Whenever on Letterman, the guy would come out, F you and F you and F you. They did that bit all the time, and his guest this week was the FU guy, which is very interesting. I forget his real name, so forgive me. But also support the Hello Deli if you're in the New York area. Your only source for officially licensed Late Show with David Letterman merchandise is available from the Hello Deli, Hello-Deli. Go say hello to Rupert and tell him that Nicole says hello, because oftentimes she
Cannot.
St. Clair Insurance, read card. Yes, sir, Rebob. You get my glasses. They say, I should know this one by heart by now. They say all which separates men and boys is the coverage for their toys. What types of toys, Mrs. Ryan?
Collector cards.
That's right. Licensed in most states, St. Clair Insurance shops top providers, so you get the best coverage for your toys. Obviously, we talk about Haggerty a lot on this show because we have it. A lot of other friends of ours have it, but he shops top providers. Top providers! It makes me think of Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. We have top men looking on it. Who? Top men. If you want to check out St. Clair Insurance and insure those toys of yours, simply get your computer, dial it up with the internet. You're going to want to go to the www, and once you're there, go to coverageforyourtoys.com. Coverageforyourtoys.com.
Coverageforyourtoys.com.
Absolutely. And the last thing I have to read here before we get back to all the rest of this fun stuff is Series 1 Films. Series 1 Films is more than just films. I don't care what you've heard. They can set you up with effective marketing solutions like press releases on major news sites. They can scale your rank on Google, and they can produce cinematic content for your automotive needs. Series1films.com, Series1films.com.
Series1films.com.
In case you were curious what their work looked like, here's a little video they put together for Breakfast Club. Is it's because it's not a thing. It's because it's not a thing. We're back. And we're back. It's fun because it's not a thing.
Yeah.
It didn't start as a car event. It's just a bunch of people who were doing a drive on their own to go get out there in nature on Fridays anyway, and we all just kind of found each other.
I love it.
And it's great. It's so great to get out in the nature. And I'm sure you've driven on that road or ridden motorcycles on that boat road, but it's a world-class road, one of the best in the country.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Certainly one of the best in Los Angeles County.
Yeah, we have a cabin in Idlewild, so that very
Oh,
windy,
my.
and we love that road.
I love Idlewild.
Yeah,
well,
I
for the
love
same
it.
thing, you're just getting out of town.
Oh yeah, and it's just a little. I think it's because it's so you can't go snowboarding, you can't go skiing. It's just a tiny mountain town with real people.
Yeah,
I love it.
You
It's
can't
great.
go snowboarding or skiing.
It's not like it's such
It's not a resort
It's
town.
not a resort town.
That's what's
Oh,
made
I
Idlewild
love
it's like
so
that.
nice.
cabins and mountain people. Like a lot of people come up for weekends and they do a lot of cute little parades and tree lighting and stuff like that. But it's just really, it's one of those. But it's like
You don't
it's
get the
really
masses.
cool. No, you don't get the masses.
I
a neat
kind of
place.
love that.
I love that.
It's
That's
called
the place to get away.
Mile
for us.
High Idlewild, and it's been around. I mean,
been around.
we've had it for 53,
Yeah,
54.
Oh, that's
50 years,
beautiful.
I was 13 when my parents bought
Yeah,
it.
and then the family that built it on a pile of rocks had it for 50 years.
The
Oh, I
farmhouse,
love
yeah.
it.
It's a 100-year-old
Teeny-
cabin. It's pretty
teeny
cool.
tiny.
Holy crap!
It's very much a fairy tale cabin. It's like light green with white scallop trim. It's just awesome.
We fell in love with just getting out of town by driving to Newcomb's, and then a friend
Absolutely.
bought looked at all the places, Arrowhead, Big Bear, all the places you look, and then settled in, where did she settle? Same thing, it was a non-resorty town, Lake Gregory.
Oh,
Lake Gregory, and it was the same thing. You get all of that beautiful community and the woods and the nature, but no bullshit.
And you can be in it if you want to, or you can just go back to your place and just be with nobody.
Idlewild
It
hasn't
doesn't come to
changed.
you and infiltrate your town.
Exactly.
I don't think Idlewild's changed in
No.
since in 55 years since I was 13.
There's a
It has never changed.
There's
It's just
a
the way it
few
is.
after COVID where you have some kind of bougie little places going in there, like the fancy coffee shops and things that all the
Pull that
hipster
little tiny bit
stuff,
closer to you.
all the little hipster stuff. So it's interesting, but other than that, I mean, actually, it's kind of booming. Every
Nutty
little
squirrel.
place there's like a place to open up a shop. Anything that didn't survive COVID now is
Oh, available.
So there's a bunch of new stuff going in there, which is really cool.
It seems, from my experience, that the new stuff that has opened since is kind of booming. Are you noticing that as well? Like people are enjoying the new?
I think
Seems that
so.
way.
Yeah, definitely. I like,
It's
people.
tough to get employees.
Is it for you guys too?
Nobody wants to work.
You see all these little restaurants and stuff. Everybody's looking for employees. They're looking for work.
Food industry.
They're looking for food industry, and
Everybody needs help.
nobody wants to work.
Yeah.
It's just the craziest thing we ever saw.
Is that what it is? Nobody wants to work?
Yeah.
I don't.
That's very odd to me.
I think there's a big
know.
enough gap, and there's a big enough payoff coming from the government that a lot of people have just.
I think they didn't. They're like, or fresh out of school, and then they like didn't have to because they were like getting like at least the younger generation.
And then you get used to that.
And they're like, okay, cool. I'm not gonna go.
Right.
Back
Why
to that.
would we
Why
go
would I
work
go
if
back?
we don't?
I've got several friends with large corporations with 25, 30, 40, 50 employees, and they're trying to get them back.
You're
and
kidding.
They don't want to come back. They don't. They want to work from at home.
Yeah.
And some of these guys, the one guy said, okay, he's got 50 employees. Said, I tell you what, you aren't here by Monday. On Monday, you're all fired. Yeah. And they just don't want to come out of they're used to working out of it's kind of interesting what's going on.
Is it an age thing?
I
Is it
don't know.
younger people than
think
older
it's
people?
an
Don't know.
age thing. I think a lot of it's an age thing. I think it's younger.
Okay.
Kind of got the taste of like not having because I don't think a lot of people have ever done the like real hard work.
Okay.
Or the people that
The
have
grind,
and
the grind.
Yeah.
and so they're like
The younger generation's not to the grind yet. And
yeah.
Right.
I don't
they're
think they
still,
really got a taste of.
Well, then, but
Yeah.
it's weird. Then how will that generation achieve success? Because
I
there'll be a
don't
couple
know.
lucky ones, but like the grind is what actually teaches you the grit, which gives you the
I
success.
won't be around then.
Yeah.
So I
It's
don't
not
know.
my problem.
I'm a little
Not
worried
my
about
problem.
it.
I'm worried about her and the grandkids when they come, but I'm not going to be around.
Well, I'm trying
That's
to
what I'm not going
understand
to worry
it.
about.
I'm trying to understand it because I hear it from a lot of people in a lot
Totally.
of different industries,
Yeah.
but we're of the opinion of like, if we could work right now, we would be
Right?
working right now. I mean,
Absolutely.
both financially and spiritually,
Yeah.
mentally, mental health, and everything else, we would both be working.
Well, and
right now.
our little team is just like so. Their work ethic is just like,
Good.
It's
Yours
amazing.
is amazing,
It's amazing.
yes.
Everybody, all of our people are just awesome. But they were, I think, I don't know if it's the way you're raised or just a little bit different, like old school parents or what. But they
That
love
probably
it.
has a
They
lot to do with
want
it,
to
'cause
be.
that's your thing, upbringing.
Yeah.
And they want to be in it because I mean they're just like I'm so bored. When they had to be home all the time. It's like I need stimulation. I need to go out and do things, be with people.
Do you think that's part of it? Because like we've all got this in us at all
It's
times.
a huge issue.
So there's like it's that addiction and the
Yeah.
feeding the not the Adderall,
Little
but whatever the thing is,
dopamine,
dopamine.
Yeah, getting a little kick every time you're scrolling.
And we all do it.
Oh yes.
Is
yes,
that maybe part of it
definitely.
too? Like,
Could
this
be.
doesn't hold my attention as much as the rest of the world does.
Yeah, let me just keep.
Why would I do one thing when I can do everything else?
Well, it keeps the endorphins popping. It's just flash, 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 flash. There's always continuous mental stimulation on this thing, and it's difficult to get away from.
It
It's
is.
addictive.
It's crazy the things we used to do to give our bodies the rushes that we just get from likes and loves on Instagram
yeah,
or whatever.
absolutely.
Nowadays.
Broken neck, fused wrist, steel plates in both legs.
Going
That's what I'm
out.
thinking.
Some real
Bungee
adrenaline.
jumping over here,
The
race car driving over there.
The nose has been only broken about 6 times, so I mean, otherwise it'd be perfect.
Is that the only bone you've broken? Just your nose over and over?
No.
I think 3
both
times by
legs,
women
Both legs,
for the
shoulder,
nose.
wrist, neck.
Oh, I forgot. You've been in some decent rides.
Motorcycles,
I forgot.
yeah,
about
all
that.
Usually
motorcycles.
motorcycles.
Not car
Not
racing.
cars.
Car racing has been good to me.
Yeah. No, but when you go down on a motorcycle, you're outside the car. So.
Yeah, there's no roll cage around you. Yeah. It's all dirt. It was all dirt stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, he was dirt bike.
Well, that's
for a
probably
long
why you're
time,
still alive then.
motocross, Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if it was on the street, you got 2 options, and the second option is not a good one.
Do you still ride?
No. I'll ride my Harley periodically. I'll take it out, but the brain has a tendency to make commitments that the body can't take anymore. At 65 years old, I'm
Yeah.
just going. In a race car, get out of the way. I'm fine. You put me in a race car, and it's
You got some metal around you too.
all the skills come back. But
Yeah.
riding a motorcycle, the reason I ride the Harley is because it forces you to drive slow. It's not, you can't lay it down the corners, you can't get on it hard, it just is what it is.
You have to cruise.
Yeah, and you got to watch, you keep an eye on your 6 because, people just aren't paying attention anymore.
Barrel right into it.
They just,
Yep.
they just don't even, phones.
And then the super fast electric cars that have the sensory or whatever the heck, they sometimes see the cars and the trucks and everything else, but I don't know if we're good at seeing the motorcycles and all that stuff yet.
Yeah. No, I don't
There's a
know.
lot
still-
to be
we're
said
still
about
fine-tuning.
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's another show on the electric cars.
Oh, you have opinions on
and
that?
what's going on?
Oh,
Yeah,
is it plenty?
Oh, I would love to
some pretty
talk about
interesting opinions and what's going on. So based on my
You've declared them interesting?
well,
They are interesting. I mean, I think
I believe it.
it without getting into a lengthy story, you've got people that old school, like myself, old school driving habits, the way we drive. You've got a Tesla cruising down the highway, and you cut across the bow of a Tesla. Okay, Tesla's right behind you, and normally you're going down the 91 freeway at 65, 70 miles an hour, and you go, oop, off ramp, and you kind of just phase over, drop over, and there's a certain harmony. There's a yin, the yang, a chi
A flow.
about driving. Now, occasionally it gets screwed up when somebody brake checks or does something stupid and an accident happens. But you come across the bow of that car, and you go, oh, well, that car's really safe. It's a Tesla. It just bashes on the brakes, no problem. Bob, behind you, is not driving a Tesla. Bob is driving a 65 Chevy Nova. And Bob's cruising along with the old, 12-inch brakes on it and cruising along like this. All of a sudden, this Tesla, with stopping power that's off the scale, smacks the brakes. Boom. Bob becomes part of the Tesla. They're occupying the same space at the same time.
This was my argument with anti-lock brakes when they first came out. It was like, well, once they all have them, it's going to be great. But right now, some cars stop and some cars just smash right into them.
Yeah.
And in California driving style, you guys drive it every day. You're cruising along, and people are one car length or half a car length off the front of you at 35, 45, 50
Or
miles an
they're
hour.
It's offensive
like
you call
this,
it California driving
looking
style.
down
It is
at their phone.
having grown up in New England and
Oh,
in the weather of learning how to drive, like
Yeah.
like
You have
you,
to- you
like
have to
you
know how to
riding
drive
bikes.
there.
I know how to drive because I drove in shit.
that's Scandinavian driving. You have to know how to
Exactly.
drive.
Shit
Yeah.
cars and shit weather, and I was a speed demon, so I was barreling the
Sideways
whole time.
all the time.
Absolutely. But there are also rules that were implemented, like keep right except to pass, and just simple like rules of
Etiquette
the road,
and-
driving
yeah,
etiquette.
there's not-
That doesn't seem to be
As
anywhere in
soon as you
existence
get
here,
over
even in the
border,
driving test.
It's fine. 2-lane roads, you're like out of California, like, oh, you're slower, you get over, and people pass you, and it's like, wow, that's what driving etiquette is. And California's like, you cross over, and like, oh, okay, we hit the border.
Prius, haul the way over, fast lane, 65, 60 miles an hour. I'm driving the speed limit, therefore I'm driving the speed limit, therefore nobody should be passing me.
Yeah, I've declared.
I've declared, my space, my stuff,
Absolutely.
my thing. I'm 65 miles an hour. Peace. I don't care what's behind me. It's
I
up,
can be
know.
here. They told me I can.
All right, well, we could all go on for days
Yes,
and days
yes.
about that. How do you feel about the event that we all threw together in a month?
You know what? I was pretty impressed with us after the fact because I haven't been, that was very stressful. Trying to get, butts in seats and
That was a stressful
making
month.
it happen and stuff, and us putting it together in a month or basically less than a month. And
Over a holiday weekend when
Over a holiday
everyone we
weekend!
know and who committed to
Everyone
this
said-
thing was out of town.
I literally said words out of my mouth. I'm like, no one goes out of town for Labor Day weekend.
It's the
Just
shut of the
kidding.
summer. Everybody does.
Everyone. So I'm pretty impressed with us. It was a full house. It was. I thought it was cool.
What you guys did for, we are the show. You provided the venue. We are the show. The show just kind of comes in, whatever, and they breeze in from St. Louis and they put up their set or whatever, and they do their little act, and hopefully people like it.
Yeah.
The venue really dictates a lot of how good that show is going to be based on what their support is. And the support from the Marconi Museum and Foundation was amazing. I was going to say incredible. It was amazing. It was incredible. We're making up words to say how good it was. It was really amazing. And I feel like you guys we felt fancy having been there, and all of our performers felt the same thing. They were so grateful to have been invited to do the event because it was so good. Because it turned out so well, I should say. I just thank you from
my
both of
gosh,
us, because we
no.
can't wait to do it again. We can't wait to do more of them. But the fact that we did it is like, it was really big for us.
Yeah.
Life's kind of been going this way, and to have a little win was so solid.
Like-
Solid.
We had so much fun with you guys. Like, even though it was just like cranked all the way up, we're like, okay,
We
how
were
are
at
we gonna make
11.
this work? Let's do it. And everyone's all frazzled and stressed and stuff. But like, once it started flowing, it was just like, this is great. People are happy. They want
That
to
was
be
it.
here.
Once people were enjoying
Yeah.
the show,
Yeah.
we all kind of said, okay,
Yeah.
and let's just all enjoy it.
And I got to chat with the comedians and stuff, and because getting a drink at the bar, making sure they don't pay for their drinks.
Thank you.
Your money's
Thank
not
you.
good. Here, stop.
Thank you.
But it's funny because I was like, thank you so much for being here for us. And they're like, thank you for having us here. And it just was a shock to me because I'm over here like, well, you're like donating your time and you're, you know, and it's such a huge deal for us, but they felt the opposite or felt that way for us.
This is my point, though. That's what you guys brought, because sometimes these, you know, we had some great people on that show. It's funny, we didn't have the people that we necessarily wanted to because of schedule and emergencies and things, but we still had some fantastic people.
Yeah.
And even those fantastic people are not above doing a show in an Italian restaurant or at a coffee house or something like that. So to do what essentially was an old school TV show, we really did pull off an old school TV show performance, everything but the cameras. Yeah. I think it was very cool for all of them to be part of it. Yeah. I don't want you guys to underestimate what you bring to the table.
Thank you. It was. I think after everything was said and done, we were all like, man, we did that. We made it. We made it happen. Because there was a time where we had a conversation like, are we gonna do this?
Everything seemed great until like a week or so in, when it was just like everybody's out of town. And by the way, comedy events, everybody buys their tickets late.
And
it's been that way from the history of time. It's
the last 3 to 5.
Comedy
Usually
is
it's
not
the last
something
3 to
they
5.
book 6 months in advance or whatever, like you would a Luftka cult or a car show or something like that, Heels and Wheels. Totally. So there was a lot of things going on. I think the vendors, there was a handful of things. I just remember the conversation with you. I said, listen, we don't care, but we're show business people and the show must go on. So as long as you want a show, we're going to give you one. And I guarantee they'll like it.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I felt relieved after that conversation. I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be beautiful. We're gonna make it happen.
That was the conversation I felt like where it showed what we were all made of, because we were all willing to go through the shit to get it done.
100%. I have never sold my soul that hard to everyone I know ever. And I was in sales for like 6 years at the bike shop.
It's like, just come on out. Just come on out.
Trying to anyone.
I know you've done everything else this summer, and this is your last weekend off, but just come out.
Just come out here and support us.
There are so many things we can do differently in the future.
Oh, definitely. There's a lot of tightening up. There's a lot of things that we can. Yeah.
We all put our heads together and made an ass out of ourselves, and it was funny.
I enjoyed it.
It was absolutely
a really fun night.
It was hilarious, and I'm looking at you on the stage. Okay, let's call a spade here.
Oh boy,
I'm looking at you on the stage, and see this right here.
Yeah,
this is all I saw the entire time. Now I figured by the end of the night, you know, after all the comedians and all the stuff and the silent auctions and everything else, she would be beat up. And
she
to
was,
the end,
but she did it. But she drove right to the end.
And then the after party, we were all sitting there hanging out, and none of us wanted to leave. We were exhausted.
Nobody wanted to drive home. We were just crashed out. I think that was like a little bit of a shock, like after an accident.
The adrenaline is still.
My car's totaled.
Yeah,
it's fine. Everything's fine.
We were all just sitting, and none of us were drunk because none of us had drank throughout any of it. But then you started pulling the cars back in, the Mustangs and the Batmobile and everything else, and it felt like family.
Yeah, absolutely.
It felt like the after party when everyone's gone home and it's just family now, and we're undoing our pants a little bit and whatever.
Taking the belt off. No, 100%, and that's when you know. I mean, even when we have like regular events and stuff, and I always tell, you know, like Sydney, my event coordinator and stuff, and just anyone, it's like if we're not hugging at the end, if I'm not hugging the client, like, I mean, you guys are in.
We failed.
We failed. If they don't feel like family at the end of this, and we're not family, then we didn't make that connection.
We feel that way too, but that's very rare. I find that most people don't feel that way.
Yeah.
Most people, it's a metric. I had a good time.
You remember we
5 stars.
Cool.
Must recommend or whatever.
Made some money. Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll never see you again.
Remember we talked about before the show?
Tonight?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Sight, sound, touch, and taste. Develop relationships. I mean, you
often
often
said
all the senses.
Yeah,
you shake their hands, you talk to them, you give them a bottle of water, whatever it is, you develop that relationship.
Yeah.
That relationship is what she does and what we do every time we do this. So when you walk out of there, whether you use this or not, like the bike shop, the cyclist bike shop in Costa Mesa, whether you use this or not, you develop that relationship. That's more important than anything else.
It's a trust.
See, that's what I was going to say. You started this by saying that's how you run your business.
That's how
it doesn't
we run
matter
our
if
business.
somebody buys something, it's about the relationship.
Absolutely.
Jay, both you guys grew up old school with old school parents. All right, that is the days of you going down to the hardware store and, hey, he's on the way down. Your dad said he called, get a box of 16 penny nails on the way back. Those relationships is what's key. That is lasting forever. Amazon, you can buy anything. Those relationships that you develop with your business, with your trades, or whatever you're doing, is what lasts forever.
I mean, most
And
of the stuff we
that's
get
what
are
she
is
does.
referrals, just because somebody had a great
A good time.
experience and they want to come back, and everybody's excited for the next one that we're gonna have. So,
And
I
you know,
mean, can we at least give it like at least like 6 months, maybe like a year?
Let's-
He wants to do
please?
it quarterly.
I know. Stop.
well, we got another one coming up. and
Biannually
I
makes
guess,
sense.
I
Is
guess,
biannually twice a
Biannually,
year?
twice a year,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess
we
we've got a
think so.
comedian coming up here shortly that's going to be visiting you. That's be performing at the museum.
Yes.
I think it's an Italian guy.
He's great. He was one of the things I was surprised about most from that show was how good Guido Cocomello is as a comedian.
He loved
Yep.
you.
Neither one of us had ever heard of him, not any fault of his own. We just hadn't crossed paths yet.
Yeah.
And then you suggested him, and you know how that is when there's a. It
No.
wasn't a must hire, but you were like,
Totally.
and we like this guy if you like him. And I was like, well, we're going to use this guy because they like him regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we went and looked at his stuff, and I was like, this guy's funny. This guy's got good
Totally.
stuff.
He tells
and then we
story-
met
the
him, and
story.
he was wonderful. What a
Yeah.
warm human being.
Well, I like that he uses. He's like, I'm just using my own. It's just me. It's my
Experiences.
life. It's my,
That's
my
the only way to do
family.
it.
My absolutely. He's like, I'm not political. I'm not gonna cause
Those
up a
are the
storm.
best.
They're
But
the
that's why he
best
was
because they're
natural.
legitimately funny. And
That's
you know,
when it's real and you feel that.
Yep.
exactly.
It's like Sebastian Maniscalco does that too. Like all of his stuff is real.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. Like those are the people that
Real
they're
is
not
relatable.
redoing a bit.
Exactly.
It's like this really happened.
This is actually my bit
Adam
because
does the
I
same
actually
thing.
did it.
He expands upon that, but it's his life, it's stuff, things
Yeah.
he's done, and that's
very
what
funny.
people want to hear the story.
Yep.
Yeah.
They want to be part of it.
I loved how Adam wrapped up that show
Oh, so good.
about how the world is crazy and everything, but when you pop the hood, we're all the same. I
Yeah.
thought that was awesome.
So
All
it really
races,
brought
creeds, and
like
colors.
cars and comedy.
Yeah, all races,
together.
creeds, and colors. You pop that hood, those cars, 4 wheels, 2 wheels. It doesn't matter what you look like or who you are.
Yeah.
They all speak the same language, and they're all cut from the same cloth. It doesn't matter. Color is irrelevant. It jumps all boundaries when it comes to vehicles and cars.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Then I'm happy we're into cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're all shapes and sizes, all colors
Yeah,
and
and, I mean,
shades.
some
Yeah.
people drive yellow Porsches.
Hey, that's become quite a cool thing to do. When we
It's
got it,
the
it was
thing.
really an outside choice. Everyone give us a lot of shit
Which
for
is
like buying a
hilarious.
yellow car.
I love you.
That car,
Those
and
are my
that's a
favorite.
distinctive car, especially the 111 on the side.
Yeah,
distinctive
yeah.
car.
Yeah.
My dad we always joked about it, and then we're looking for a Porsche now for the museam.
Oh yeah.
There's several
Yeah,
of
he
them.
wants
And the
one.
problem is because we were racers all the time, and I got a chance to drive a Turbo Carrera at wasn't it Daytona? I don't remember where it was.
Sebring?
Back in my history, I think it was Sebring. And really love the car. You got to drive around the ass end of the car
You
because
have to
it's
drive.
assy. It
Yep.
just is, and it's fun to drive for a guy who's like you, who woke up or who drove in the mud and the
You wanna
the
move
swill and the
around,
frap.
yeah.
If the ass end ain't sideways, you're not happy.
Yeah.
But it was always one of those things. We busted each other's chops. My dad and I said, "Hey, the motor's on the wrong side of the axle."
You say that to me every time
Every
we see
time.
you.
And
Every
the big
time.
picture-
It's his
we have
joke.
fallen. There's a gold one. There's a
Porsche
gold
joke.
turbo that I've been looking at. It's really beautiful, and everybody goes, "It's the ugliest damn color," but it makes a statement. I mean, like this face, it makes a statement.
What color is it?
It's gold. It's not gold.
It's a 930?
It's a 930 turbo. It's the one with just after the kicktail with the box tail.
Oh, sure.
It's got the box tail, and it's got a 3.5 in it instead of a 3.2.
Oh.
And it's got the big brakes and all the other stuff and
What,
everything
like
else.
Andile build it or
This
something?
is
No,
news
it's
to me. I have no
a
idea
company
what
like
he's
Andile built it, but
Okay.
it is. It's called something sand something beige or something, and it's gold.
like gold metallic?
And I talked to Robin, a friend of mine, that's really really tight with Porsches, and he's a collector, and he looks at that and he said, that's the most undesirable color there is, and I said, perfect, I love it.
Sell it to me. Give me a deal.
Give me a deal, yeah.
Yeah,
Give me
especially,
a-
I mean, who cares about the color these
yeah.
days on a
I
car?
know. Yeah. I mean, you can.
But it is
tell you
pretty.
about
It's
Porsches,
pretty
they can
gnarly.
take
But
pretty
it
much
needs
carry
paint,
any
needs
color.
interior, and things like that.
But when you look at like a period car like that, I feel like you want the period taste attached to that period
Agreed.
car.
Absolutely.
The people who
Absolutely.
buy an old period car and then I don't know, wrap it in
Screw
camouflage
it
or
up.
something more.
Yeah.
You do whatever you want to
Yeah.
your car. I never understood it.
Yeah. No. Same.
No, I'm not knocking it. I just
No,
like
no,
it doesn't
no.
click with me.
No, definitely. Yeah. Everybody is all about the era of their. They want it to be
Yeah.
within that
Now
I have this.
you haven't seen this
big
yet.
No.
giant. Yeah, he was
You've been
refusing to
purposely
look at
keeping
it.
the back of
Yeah.
the check.
Did you
away
see
from-
it?
This check is going to show how small our studio is. It's going to show scale for how small the studio is
Now,
when I hold it
let's
up.
back up before you whip this thing out.
Okay. Wow.
Before you-
All right.
Okay.
You heard it
The
here
big
first.
picture
Going
is
there.
3 weeks in the making. We put it on a holiday.
Truly 3 weeks. I know we call it a month.
3 weeks
It's like
actual. 3 weeks hard in the making. It was concept in 4 for the 4 weeks. We put it on a holiday because it's the only weekend we had left.
It's the only free weekend.
Because right now between here and we're going to be hitting almost 90 events
at the end of the year.
this year. At the end of the year, 90 events.
We finished our 12th event for this month
In a
on
row.
Saturday.
I mean,
That's
we're
so
talking.
much.
Like
Fire.
you saw the close
So
down at
tired.
midnight. Okay, this is every night putting the cars back together, everything back in the museum. So the next day when people walk in, it's there. And then the next day after that, tear it down a wedding. We've got a wedding going on this weekend.
Yeah,
she has
it's gonna be fun.
just
Card
back
people.
to back to back, and it ranges from 250 to 350 people.
Sure.
And
Well,
it's
luckily
just,
it's a big
so
space.
So if we
Yeah.
look like, if my dad used to say, if your eyes look like 2 pea holes in the snow, you'll understand we're tired.
Dear Lord.
So the big picture is what led up to this. That was a very short event. We all put it together. We made it happen. It was a rock star. Wait
Oh, we made a little money.
until next time.
The next time's going to be amazing.
Get out of the way.
But the amount on this doesn't, I mean, I shouldn't say it doesn't matter to me, but it doesn't matter to me. The fact that we pulled off this thing and can do it again and it will be better, that to me is the accomplishment. The fact that we raised some money for the foundations is exceptional. I'm really excited about
Nicole.
that. But the fact that we can do more next time, like
Yes.
it's a bridge
Tuning.
gap.
Yeah.
It's tuning. Okay, we dropped a couple of cylinders on a V8. All right, we'll get those cylinders back.
That's good. I'm better with a 6 anyway.
And we'll make. You always work
Straighten it out. Flatten it out
One
for
of you
me.
flat 6 guys. Hey, we do flat 8s. We do a Testarossas and BB512s.
Oh, man.
Nicole, this one is for you. This is you were the driving force. Obviously, this is the mouthpiece, but you were the true driving force, and what's going on with you. And we, from the bottom of our hearts, this was a heartfelt project. We all.
Don't cry. Turn it away. Turn it to your face.
Okay, I got this. Okay,
I'm going to do a slow zoom. There we go.
Oh,
right on the
no.
fit. There we go. Slow push. Perfect.
I'm going to do a snivel right here.
Oh, man. Do you have some background music?
FS, full snivel.
All right. So let's show the people what they want to see.
All right. And I should say, I want to be correct here. This is the Autoimmunity Foundation's
This
portion of this,
is
correct?
directly
Yes.
This is
to her,
Right.
to her
Or to you
foundation.
guys.
Is it the right side up?
Yep.
All right, great.
Holy cow. You guys are awesome.
You could read through the back of it?
I saw it as it turned around.
Oh my
You guys
God.
are amazing.
Wait a second. That's ridiculous. Are you
Amazing.
serious?
Don't you love ridiculous?
I do.
Isn't
Well,
ridiculous wonderful?
See, this is better.
I wasn't expecting it. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it. I really wasn't expecting
What were
it.
Next
you,
time
okay,
we'll-
let me ask you
we'll-
something. What were you
that'll be-
expecting?
Less. I don't know, less. This is amazing.
That's where
Look
you
at
and I
this.
differ. I always expect more.
Yeah, well, I've been disappointed a lot in my life. There we go.
Anyway,
Just put that right
you were the
there.
driving force behind this. Okay, it was take no prisoners.
This is the actual hard
Oh, wow.
That's the one you're taking.
This is
That's
the one you get.
one you
There you
actually
go.
get.
But
Nicole-
I want the big one.
Nicole, you're going to have a little trouble when you wipe the ink off. When you take that to the bank, they're not going to.
Yeah, that one I got to take home because I got to wipe it off
I
for the next
figured
time.
this was the reusable.
This is the.
Tries an early admission to defeat.
Do
We
you
don't
remember
try.
it was an Adam Sandler movie with the golf. It was the golf
Oh, yeah.
one. Happy
Yeah,
Gilmore.
Happy
He was like,
Gilmore.
I want one of
It's
those
a good
big
movie.
checks like you gave that guy over there. He ended up with a car full of big
Sandler's
checks.
just hilarious. He's a nut job.
Thank you, Marconi Foundation. That's amazing. That's amazing. I had no idea. I really had no idea.
Well, we could have made the show a success without all of us, together. It's too, big, it's like half and half. Like, you're bringing all of the action. We're going to help make it happen. And,
And the sales, I wrung everybody. I
Whew,
know.
man.
I wrung everybody out. I got guys calling me back going, Hey, I told you I'm on vacation. It's okay, bitch. I'm gonna hit you again.
Just buy a seat.
Are you sure?
Just- I'm
we
gonna
had
hammer
people
you.
buy seeds and then donate them to
You know,
others.
and
We
Yeah.
had the same thing.
Yeah,
knew
we had,
people
I
did
think,
that.
like 10 or 15 people were like, hey, I'm going to buy a table. Hey, I'm going to buy this. Just give it to people. So, which is amazing.
I think next time we're not on a holiday, and I think we'll get a lot more LA influence coming down to do that, and
let's
so I think that will be definitely positive.
A lot of people weren't sure what to make of this. You know what I mean? This was a great idea, but the fact that it was a great show was a question mark. The fact that we pulled it off, to me, is the success because the people will come next time.
Yeah.
Does that make sense too?
Absolutely.
They're like, oh wow, I want to be part of that. That looked like a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Yeah, and everybody loved you guys. Like, they thought you were hilarious. Like,
we
that
are
guy's
amazing.
you guys are amazing. You're amazing. Like, oh my gosh, they're so good. Like, yeah. After our podcast the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, I saw the podcast. It was so funny. I was like,
Her
oh,
laugh
you know,
is
it's a thing.
infectious.
I know.
Yeah.
Her laugh
Especially
is
the snort,
infectious.
because I snort really hard when I
Nicole's sitting
when
back
I
there
laugh really hard.
and just all of a sudden,
So cute.
I mean, I'm just we're all
beautiful.
hysterical. I was being the full hog, but I mean, her laugh is definitely infectious.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
Cool.
that's amazing. I'm glad that you guys freaking enjoyed it. I'm glad that we'll be back. The whole thing is just kind of amazing to me because,
More gray hair.
You have more gray hair?
Oh yeah, snow capped. Snow capped, no doubt about
Snow
it.
capped.
I just don't want to lose it.
Yeah, I gotta keep it in there.
Big picture is it was exhilarating. We love the wing it.
Yeah,
We love
me
the
too.
start it from scratch. Somebody's hikes us the ball. We'll figure out a way around it, over it, through it, or under it, or I'll call you on the other side of it. We'll make it happen. Don't tell me no that we can't do something, and try. Like I said, as an early admission of defeat. We don't get defeated. We make it happen. If we want it bad enough, you get out there and make it work. You got enough people and enough family. Surround yourself with people who are smarter than you are, and get the job done. And
guys
that's the
are
bottom
monologue.
line. Take a look at everything in life.
Your team. Back to your team, though, for the same reason, everything you're talking about. Working with Nick. When we, on the day, we talk about
Making
wing
it
it. We're
work
making
on
a lot of
the- oh,
jokes
man.
about wing it, but the
Yeah.
truth, because we had, I think I literally just threw out the breakdown that was still in the desk from the
Yeah.
other day. It was broken down to the minute for a
Definitely.
90-minute show. But at the end of the day, there were so many, we don't know if this will work. We don't know if this person will be here. We don't know, that we just all agreed to
Wing
put
it.
our best foot forward. Yeah,
filled
and
in
know
the
that we
slots?
all had each other's back. We all sort of
Absolutely.
agreed that, all right, well, if I look at you and you look at, whatever, we had these kind of systems set up.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I go back to your team. It was great. I can't wait to do another one. When are we doing another one? Is it 6 months from now or from the last event? Because that's 5 months from now.
We got to nail down. We got to nail down some dates. Here's what we got. We're
How about Christmas? Nobody's doing anything on Christmas.
Yeah,
Make it
I tell you
happen.
what, you're a nut job. You're fired. Right now we're slammed to the end of the year.
Yeah.
Christmas is our.
Actually,
it's
January's all booked.
Oh, I was
it's
kidding.
getting-
Is
no,
that actually a busy time?
October.
I thought
October
everybody
is
would
wall
be
to
gone.
wall.
No. Yeah, December.
Are you doing a haunted house event?
No, but we are doing. Here's one thing unique that we're going to need some help with. The toy drive.
Yeah.
The toy drive last year, we did a lot with Shriners. We're opening up to other cities and other things. There's a lot of fire departments always have families that they're working with. The Shriners, the one we did last year, that trailer, you've seen the race trailer in the parking lot?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a 24-foot trailer, and this is the tall trailer because last year we ran out of room.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
With
This is a
Sebastian.
20-foot
He's
trailer.
born for
Sebastian
fast.
with OI,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sebastian,
Incredible.
we ran out of room.
By the way, real quick, follow the Sebastian with an O because he's got a new Instagram because he got hacked and
Yes.
he
whatever.
got hacked, and
Oh.
little
So
Sebastian
please give him
is
a follow.
having some tough times right now, and he's really pushing hard and struggling. And
He's
there's
doing
nobody,
a great job
there's
while he's struggling.
Amazing.
nobody I've ever met
Yeah,
that's got
he and his
bigger
mom
heart and more
are
drive than him. He
blow my
and his
mind.
mom are amazing.
And he's
Blow my mind.
13, 14?
13,
13,
just
I
turned
think.
just turned 13.
Yeah,
Crazy.
13.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he went to
he's
his
amazing.
teens, and
Yeah.
he's a badass. There's no
He
doubt about
really
it. The
is.
little guy, he gives, and gives, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what position he's in. Or he comes to a car show, he's got a broken leg, he just put it in a cast and plated it, and 2 days later he's at the show in the prone in a gurney. I mean,
He's
he
got
doesn't
the
know
disease
the
where
answer.
you're fragile and you break bones all the time. and
Yeah,
he breaks
yes,
bones
breaks
every
bones all
week,
the
and then
time.
he's still at an event that weekend, having been just put back together.
It's
He's a
impressive.
rock star.
Yeah, he really is, and yeah, we're
Did you see him
hoping
doing
to-
his commercial for the thing the other
Oh,
day? It was
yeah,
Christmas
it's
time,
Christmas
and he's
time
got,
with this
oh,
little-
it's beautiful.
Oh my god, and he's
Awesome.
so cute too. It's like, man, you're such a kid, such a handsome kid.
But that's the funny thing. He's also a natural at what he's doing.
Yes, he
It's
is.
Absolutely.
almost like I feel terrible for the struggle that he has, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's almost his
Do you watch his
purpose
morning?
It's
in
just like
life.
he's
Like
smorning.
he's-
It just and
His
he's
morning
so
quotes?
good on.
Yeah, that's
His
what I mean. His
Quotes are
inspirational,
great.
motivational
He is
things.
inspirational. He's
Yeah.
inspirational too. I mean, everyone, adults, kids, everybody. So yeah.
The big picture is working on it with him now. We want to put another one together,
Okay.
and this one's
the
going to
first
be
week, the first Saturday of November.
this.
Great.
Gail
Yeah.
Gail from Channel 5 comes down. It's just a big party.
It's the
We're going to get
5th?
all the cities involved. I mean, this one.
5:55 if we're talking about the 5th.
Yep.
How about that?
Yeah,
There you
this
go.
one is going to be. This one's going to be crazy. It will be
gonna be
a
fun.
monster.
Yeah, it would be kind of that half car show, come and go as you please, dropping off toys.
Toys.
And,
For
and
Sunday,
so-
for Saturday, would you say?
Saturday, first
So it's
Saturday of
October
November.
1st.
October.
We got all the local
No,
police
sorry,
departments.
November.
Ah, darn it.
November,
yeah,
yeah.
November 5th, you're right.
November
Yep.
5th. Okay.
We got
excellent.
all the local.
It's a
police
red letter date in the
departments
history of
coming in,
science.
Everybody.
I don't know if you know that.
I feel like I should.
It's the day Doc Brown invented time travel. He was standing on a toilet. He was hanging a clock.
I should know.
The porcelain was wet. He slipped, hit his head, and that's when he came up with the idea for the flux capacitor,
El Kabong.
which is what makes time travel possible.
Amazing.
You're welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Yeah.
I'll be here all night.
Yeah. So, yeah, all he needed to do was a DeLorean. He'd have it styled out.
Oh man. Oh man. That's
Oh, well, we got to talk about that too.
Yeah.
Gee whiz.
I'm waiting. I just keep telling people, I'm like, oh, you have a DeLorean? I'm like, yeah, but wait.
But it will be a time machine.
It will be a time
Wait,
machine.
but wait,
It's coming.
But wait, it'll
I
be a
know.
documentary.
We'll have to do a fundraiser for that.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
I
we're
know.
gonna need one on that one.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I think that's the type of thing that we could do. A
Yeah.
fundraiser just for that.
Oh, absolutely. I think people would be into it.
The amount of stuff we've done with Team Fox over the years, the Michael J. Fox
Yeah.
Foundation, there's so many people who want to contribute to. It's such a positive influence. It's like the car itself is a positive role model
yeah.
that people like want to be a part of converting these damn cars. So it's the type of thing where maybe we do that.
I think it's
Maybe
like
we
the
do come
one
up with an
car
idea for
also that is now this big influx of young kids because they're discovering Back to the Future because
It's
for the
brand
first
new
time.
again.
Yeah, and so I feel like the DeLorean is this one weird car that just everybody. It's universal.
They gotta
Everybody
be
loves
20 They
it.
got to be 20 and under. They come in at 20 and under. They go to that car and they
Oh,
go.
like, oh my gosh!
Really?
Back
God.
to the Future.
It's
It's,
a time-
crazy.
it's a time travel car.
High school kids, junior hires are seeing it for the first time, and they're like, "This is amazing."
You know what it is too? I wonder if it's they're of an age where they didn't grow up loving and identifying cars like we all did,
Definitely.
but because that one is so identifiable and they know it, it's like, oh,
I
Mickey
feel like
Mouse.
it's
There's Mickey Mouse.
It's the
He's right over there.
gateway. It's the gate. We're getting them in. We're getting them into cars.
Oh, that's right.
It's the gateway
That's right.
car.
Marijuana of,
Yeah, the
of
gateway.
auto collecting.
Absolutely. There was
Do you remember that? That was the gateway drug.
Yes,
You
I
remember-
do.
you remember that?
Here's
You're
your
old
brain
enough
on
to-
drugs, you know, with
It's
the
Nancy
fried
Reagan's work,
eggs.
right? Yeah, Nancy Reagan. Now you just knock that off, kids.
Oh my gosh! You know, we did Cruising for a Cure over the weekend.
I'm so bummed. I wish I knew. We
Oh.
were supposed to do that, and I
Really?
didn't go. Yes, I didn't know you were going to be there. I didn't know that Chris Jacobs, our friend, was going to be the Grand
Pat and
Marshal. I
Sean
had
both,
no
Sean
idea.
Sean made it down there. Pat made it down there.
Yeah.
Did you see the DeLorean section?
I did.
Yeah,
I was
'cause
just
a-
going to talk about that.
a
It was like
friend of
it
mine,
was
Danny
like
Botkin,
8
puts
of
that
them
up
or
every
more.
year.
She was judging the women's
The Women in
show.
Wheels portion.
Yes.
Anthony
Wheels
judge.
with
So,
Karen
yeah.
McGuire, Barry's wife.
Yeah, and a couple other
It
ladies
was
as
right
well.
out in.
It was in the Costa Mesa building, and
Right.
it was
Right
like
next door.
57 cars. So I brought my mom's Cuda, and it was all women driven. It was super cool.
And the DeLoreans were right outside.
Obsessively
so
handing
cool
out
stuff.
Heels and Wheels
Yeah.
flyers, you know.
My friend Danny Botkin has always put that thing together,
Okay,
and
gotcha.
we
There
used
was
to go every year with our time
Probably
machine.
Love
a
it.
dozen cars. From
Yeah.
absolute stock
Yeah,
to
'cause
some
I
hot
turned
rods.
the corner.
some
I was
hot
like,
rod stuff.
whoa, it's a lot of DeLoreans in one place. I like it.
They're doing crazy things with DeLoreans these days.
They
People put
are.
Tesla motors in. People
Oh, jeez.
people put they're putting the LS1 swaps, things like that.
Can't even imagine.
Imagine an LS swap.
I
But then the car becomes you got to stiffen it all up, obviously.
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
it becomes something.
Yeah, definitely. It's good
And yours will
stuff.
be a time machine.
My-
Hey, does yours runs? Everything's good
Yep.
with it? You have to move all your cars, so everything you have runs,
Runs
right?
decent. As good as a DeLorean can run.
It's a Volvo PRV engine, right? Peugeot Renault Volvo.
Yeah.
2.8 liter, 124 horsepower,
Yeah, it's that
something like that.
POS.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, yeah.
PRV POS.
POS.
It's a PRV POS.
PRV POS.
I'm cleaning up my act. I'm cleaning
Oh,
up my
man.
language.
It's
Yeah,
what-
good for you.
It was in every like Volvo sedan of that era.
Like I said,
Love it.
yeah. Peugeots, Renault, and Volvo.
Peugeots, I like it.
Persia.
have-
Persia.
We have 2 big events this month. 2 more for October.
Yeah.
We have Heels and Wheels, the women-driven cars.
That's
cars.
what we went to?
Yeah, last year.
Last
That's
year.
the first time I
That's
think
when
we
we
met
met
each
you.
other.
That's
when we met,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I know it's early. Next time I'll do it 8 to
But
11.
it's
I'm sorry,
weird
guys.
that-
I did 7 to 10.
Oh, we don't care about the
10:30.
time.
Okay, cool.
What day is it?
The
October 15th.
Yeah.
It's a Saturday.
The feedback we're getting on it already is
Something else.
Man,
we're
if
going
you
to
want
have to.
something shared,
I'm going to have to block the
send it-
street off
Send it to
because
the
this
ladies.
thing's getting it.
I'm hoping.
What I found, I got a rude awakening last year.
Oh, Heels and
That-
It's it's your event. It's your. I go. I have something on that day. It's your event.
Oh, good. Okay. Yay.
Nicole, get your shit together. Will you?
Nope.
Nope.
It-
Not I can't control it. It's not mine to ordain.
Yeah.
the
well,
amount
he's
of
a chauffeur, so.
the amount of feedback we're getting is we're gonna have to open up the street. Because
Yeah,
we're
I'm
not
It
hoping.
was
to accommodate.
huge last year.
It
we were didn't we all draw on an Aventador or something? There was some kind of car that we were all. Oh no, Koenigsegg.
It was
or something.
Koenigsegg,
We were all drawing on it for
Yeah,
charity.
Tim brought
Was
his
that-
Koenigsegg.
You gave like
No, was
$10
that-
and then
that
you
was
could draw on the thing.
Was that the Supercar Social event?
No, it was Heels and Wheels, I
Or
think.
no, that was Toy Drive.
It was a toy drive.
Yeah, Sebastian kind of
was
with
Sebastian.
Tim and stuff. Yeah.
Tim brought his egg and with all the wrap on it,
Yes,
and people
Toy
would make
Drive.
donations, and the donation would go to I think it was
Which was epic. You paid like $20.
Whatever it was, you could go
to
draw
get
on the
your
car. It
money.
was awesome.
knock yourself
So
out.
neat.
Yeah.
So
So
neat.
it was a
what
lot of fun.
What an amazing idea.
And then
So
at the
cool.
end, it's art. And
Yeah.
then they wipe it off and do it again somewhere else the next day.
Amazing.
It's very cool.
Super cool. Yeah, they had that Cars and Copters. That's the next day, the 16th. So
I think I told you when I was a kid, we had Whack-A-Wreck, and they would just get a
Whack-A-Wreck?
car like from the local junkyard or whatever
And you
that
got a
wasn't too
sledgehammer shop?
bad, and there was all different types of hammers. And you
Amazing.
could, so
Oh
kids
my
could do it with a little hammer, a ball peen hammer, or you could do a sledge, and you just whack at
sounds
this
How
like
many
car
people
wherever
got
you
hurt?
fun.
That's hilarious. It was in an
Smacking
apple
himself with a
orchard.
sledgehammer.
That sounds amazing.
apple orchard?
Just get
Yeah.
all that pent up aggression.
It was the whatever the Apple Blossom Festival, whatever
Yeah.
the yearly,
Whack-A-Wreck.
get your pumpkin pie and you go
Yeah, you go bobbing
take a
for apples
hayride.
and then you just beat the crap out of a poor car.
all of
Okay.
that. It was where we got
Yeah.
our pumpkins in the
Love it.
Halloween, all that.
I love it. Amazing.
Way too much fun.
And I would do haunted houses there, believe it or not. Shout out to Blue
fantastic.
Jay Orchards in Bethel, Connecticut.
And then what do you got? What do you got else? You got?
And then we got Guido.
Yeah, so
Guido
back to Guido.
Coquelin,
Guido
yeah.
was amazing, and now he's doing his stand-up special,
Yep.
Yes.
a full hour at the
22nd.
Marconi
Yeah.
on the 22nd.
It's
October
very
22.
cool that
Yep.
he's taping his special. There.
I'm
It's
so
neat.
It's
excited.
so
In the round, by the way, right? It's going to be in the round.
I think that it is. I have to. We're still working. I gotta
Oh, we're
confirm
figuring it
that.
out.
Yeah, because I would love to have him like in the center.
I-
May or may not
but
be in
we'll
the
see.
round.
We'll see.
He's up in Canada right now. He's got a series. He just said it was a packed room, 300. I was
Oh,
talking to him.
man. Yeah,
And he goes,
it's great.
well, did you kill him? I said, those guys are stagnant for, it's Canada. They're stagnant for, good comedy. So, I mean, anybody's going to be funny up there. So I busted his balls.
That's
But
so
he said-
untrue. Most of the funniest comedians in the
Our
world are
Canadian-
Canadian.
I think Canadian.
Look at Jim Carrey. Okay, look where all these guys came from. They came
Oh, so you were
Oh,
kidding.
yeah, he was
thank
kidding.
No, I was
God.
Totally
kidding.
kidding,
I
totally
was kidding. But anyway, he
Some
said
of my favorite
he
comedians
said
are Canadian.
he
Chris
said he killed
Farley
it.
in that
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
He said he
Yeah.
killed it.
Norm Macdonald. Oh,
That's
of course.
amazing.
He said he killed it. Now it's his third one, and I've been getting bits. As a matter of fact, he did a full video of this last one. He's going to send it onto the drive.
Awesome.
He
So we
told me
should
he's
see
on
it.
tour.
He's on
He is
tour
on
right
tour.
now.
We're booking
yeah.
his
It's 6 or
appearance here.
8. I think he's 6 or 8, and then he's back, and then you're going to get him.
Yeah.
Yeah, shortly. When's he coming up here?
He asked for a date, and then we gave it to him, and then he said
Yeah.
that date is, I don't know,
Well,
he said
thank you.
it might be
Thank
tough.
you for.
Here. But it's at some point before the event, because
Okay,
he
cool.
wants
Jay,
to
thank you
promote
for
the event.
thank you for bringing him on. He is
Oh,
he's a
he's
great
great.
guy, big time family
Very
guy.
funny. Yeah,
And,
he's got such a great family.
It's just a neat family man.
Yeah, when he first he sent an inquiry in via our website, and
Oh, like a cold call?
yeah,
Yeah.
like a hey, I want to do an event kind of thing because we have a bunch of every button you click is here, tell me what you want to do for your event.
Because it's trying to be a
Because
business.
yeah, absolutely. So Sydney goes, you're not gonna believe this, and I'm like, what? She goes, we just got an inquiry. This guy's name is Guido Cocomello, and I was like, bullshit.
Yeah,
And
I thought it was fake too.
I had to read it again, and then we looked him up. IMDb, he was in movies. I'm like, this is a real
He's
guy.
in Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah, and so I called him on the phone.
Doesn't he play like Enzo Ferrari or something? He plays one of
played a
those
race car
Italian
driver.
drivers. Yeah.
Yeah, when I got him on the phone, I was like, you do not sound Italian. You sound like a regular guy. And he's like, I'm from Canada.
But when he gets into his bit, he
hilarious.
goes full New York
Well, I mean,
Italian.
we talked for 45
funny,
minutes on the
man.
phone. He's hilarious. And then my dad called him because I was like, hey, you got to call this Guido guy, do the thing. And I was calling him to tell him about the phone call. And then my dad didn't call me back. And he called him anyway. I was trying to tell him, oh, yeah, I talked to him. We're going to do a thing. He's like, yeah, I just got off the phone with Guido. I was talking for an hour. I'm like,
Hilarious.
Hilarious.
His
He
wife
just-
goes, who the hell are you talking to? John Marconi. She goes, who's John Marconi? You don't spend an hour on the phone with anybody.
Right, yeah.
We just hit it off, and just,
Oh, yeah.
he's just,
His
he's a
wife
Well,
funny
is
guy.
you both can
hilarious.
talk too. I
Yeah,
mean,
oh,
you
yeah,
both
of
have,
course.
you're
Full
all both
energy.
preloaded, yeah.
absolutely. His wife is actually hilarious. Yeah.
I don't mean, what's
Yes, she's so funny.
Easy big fella.
They always have to be
I
when
don't
you're
mean it
putting
like
up
that.
with someone who's
They
thinks
usually.
that they're the.
I read something that the wife is waiting to be funny for the husband, who's a comedian.
Totally, his wife is hilarious.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, she's so funny, and so I feel like you are inadvertently because it's okay, here, husband's the comedian, he's the funny guy. This is all the repressed.
'cause you're
the
around it all
repressed
the time.
comedy. she's so funny.
Well, she was around all the world's famous comedians
yeah.
her whole life, so I think that even if she's not funny, she's inherently funny. Like her inherent comedic timing is probably funny,
Very good.
just
yeah.
from osmosis.
Absolutely. And she's like, no, this is my life. I'm not joking. But it's
That
funny.
happens a lot.
It's natural.
People think you're kidding a lot.
Yeah.
when you say something bad or depressing, and they're like, ha 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 ha.
You're like,
You're
no,
like, no,
it's,
really.
No, it's really a thing.
Yeah.
You want me to slap him?
No, it's true. It
No,
happens all the
he's
time.
right. It's people don't know, but it's a job to be with funny people. Like,
To be next to funny people.
yeah, I think it was Carol Lever that described it as being a good hang. Like, you have to be.
Oh, you have to be a good hand.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be okay. Yeah, that's true. That's
Absolutely.
true.
And
To fit in the green room,
to
you
be
have to be able to-
colloquial about it, like, you have to be likable.
Yeah.
Like, and it goes to that
That's tough.
fundamental thing of don't be where you're not wanted. Like, it's, you feel it.
It's kind of simple,
Yes.
right?
You know,
Yeah.
We have a lot more control over it than we think we do.
I never.
We really do.
I never learned that.
No.
Don't be where you're not
That
wanted.
got broken sometime down the
broke?
road. Like the second nose break.
The second nose break.
It just kind of got
Oh, it's
broken.
the third break.
Third
It's
one?
twice by women.
I know. It's okay.
Is that true?
It is true.
Because the joke is made a lot.
It's true.
Twice by women.
Twice by women. Of the
true.
6 times it's been, 5 times it's been broken. It's twice by women.
Both intentionally?
One was wrestling and an elbow, and the other one is a young lady.
You were
I was
wrestling a
accident?
woman?
just playing around, just all of a sudden she'll spin around, boom, and it folded it over, and it's a very hard nose. It's not as if it's all cartilage. So I told you, you want to see me straighten it out? How's that?
Hilarious.
Yeah, 2
See,
degrees that
I
way.
have one
straightens
eye that's stronger than the other, so I tend to do that anyway.
it. And the other time, a young lady I was dating was bending over, getting out of the shower, and I goosed her in the side. She reared up and folded it over,
Face. Ew, the folding over. Don't say it.
and
I
it
don't like
was
it.
it was crunchy.
He says that every time.
I don't
it's
like
the
it.
worst. I
It
know.
hurts. It
So
hurts
now,
me.
keep in mind, never broken her nose, and there's a reason. Why?
I have no
No,
caught
just
up.
show. Just do your thing.
No cartilage. Oh my gosh!
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Both ways. Yeah.
I used to be able to fold beer cans in half on this nose. You see this?
Oh.
It,
What do you?
It's,
You mean because it was solid?
Yeah, you just right over the top.
Yours
It's like
doesn't move.
weird party
Nope,
trick.
doesn't
It's
move.
like
Mine doesn't stop.
That was when I
She
was
just-
19
it
years
just
old
does
and
move. It's
intoxicated.
just-
Those things would happen.
Yeah.
It's
that-
good
that
for
happens.
sports.
it's good for sports.
Like-
absolutely.
Race for force. That's why I didn't box. My dad wanted me to
it's too
box. He was a
big.
Golden Gloves champion. I said, with this nose,
No.
No way.
there isn't a guard. There isn't a face
I just
shield.
assumed you had.
There's no face shield out there that will stop that.
No
You're
way.
hilarious. You're hilarious. You're hilarious. Do you? When we were talking last, I was saying how your old racing career life. I find this event life to be very similar because it's all about the pomp and circumstance leading up to the moment and the adrenaline. Let's get this done, and cranking in the grind we talked
Yes.
about. And then you don't get a chance to celebrate it because it's on to the next one. And I
Yeah.
find that you're doing the same thing, just you've substituted. Do you agree with that, or is that? Is my
Yeah,
assessment
there's obviously there's an adrenaline high you get, and adrenaline's a drug. It is what it is. It's an addiction. Racing is an addiction, and it feels good. It's wonderful when you win. Everybody said, "Oh, well, you get anxiety," and yeah, I get anxiety. You feel like you get a barf, or when you get in a race car. But when you rev it up, after the first 30 seconds, going the first 2 or 3 turns, all of a sudden you settle down. It's like, get out of my way. The horns come out. The evil comes out of you. Testosterone starts going everywhere. And it's okay, the party's on.
Do you get into a flow state as well as all of that aggressive testosterone and everything? Because for me, it's more that flow state than the gotta fight, gotta win, gotta fight, gotta win. I don't have that. She's got that. And I have kind of like this weird, I'll float to the front kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden, once I get to the front, then they all disappear in the back because I'm floating so far ahead.
The interesting thing is being hyperactive, obviously, dyslexic, and
You're both of those things?
ADHD.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
He's a little OCD too.
I'm all kinds of three-letter,
All the acronyms.
Are you
all
on the
acronyms.
autistic spectrum at all?
Yeah,
You don't seem it, but
It's very
possible.
possible.
all right.
So
I just
here's
want to
the
relate
deal.
to everybody on everything.
I'm a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
The thing is, when you're driving, with the way my brain works, and a lot of kids and adults that have the same issues that I have, everything's a shotgun effect. It's like a shotgun. You're seeing it. You're seeing it from every state. It's all over the place. Everything. Shiny thing, shiny thing, shiny thing. The thing about driving a race car.
By that you mean your
Wide angle.
Yeah.
There's
okay.
a wide angle, and there's flashing all around all the time. The one thing about driving a race car, that band narrows. So imagine this massive amount of energy that you're able to, that you can't focus, that
No,
you
it gets
bring it
contained
down
down.
to a laser point.
Yep.
And
Concentrated.
that's looking in front of you. All of a sudden, you take it and condense that and percolate that thing down, and it's become superstar stuff.
Well, I feel like it takes that because this is your life that you're putting in. It's the speed. There's a lot of, you have to be so aware. And so it's like finally all the energy that needs somewhere to go is now something that's being used. All of it's being used at the same time.
Yes.
And he's so focused.
Exactly. When she went to race car driving school, she never really understood it. Oh, yeah, Dad, okay. Once she got out of the car, she realized, example, Long Beach Grand Prix. You're coming down a shoreline, you're flat, and I mean, it's a nice big long sweeping turn. You're doing 165, 170 miles an hour, 180 miles an hour.
Until
You're
you have to brake at exactly the right time.
Yeah.
You're traveling the length of a football field in just under a second. So let's do the math. You miss your brake point by the 10th of a second, you're in the wall.
Yeah.
There's
And
no
that's
question about
a
it.
dead end there, too.
That's a dead end. Now it's padded and stuff like that. But you hit it at speed, you're dead. I mean, it'll kill you. So you're hoping you don't hit it at speed. But those are the things that go through your head. I once, towards the end of my career, I asked Mario Andretti and Alan Jr. on several occasions.
Oh, you dropped a couple things there. Very
Yeah,
nice.
right, Joe.
Good.
I asked Mario because we spent. I was running Indy Lights. They were running Indy cars, so I would see him getting off on the track, and also Emerson Fittipaldi.
I loved him.
The other biggest nose in the racing industry. He and I had that.
I just liked his personality. He was great after the race on camera.
Emo is a really neat guy. I like him a
just
lot.
heard stories.
I spent some neat
Is he
time
still
with
alive?
him. Yes.
He is, okay.
I asked him and Richard Petty. I asked
Love him.
actually Mario and Richard. I asked them both at different times. I said, "How do you know when it's time to quit?" And Richard Richard.
What a question.
Yeah, Richard. Yeah, and it was towards the end of the career. The third child came, Colton, and racing was all about me. We didn't do it because we had to. We weren't making a living at it. We were spending a living at it.
For sure, yeah.
And I was
for
also full time with my father's companies and running those. And
You were doing that all at the same time?
yes.
I don't know if I realized that. I thought they were different stages.
No,
Okay.
I was. My dad said, if you're going to race,
That's crazy, by the
your
way.
ass
That's
is going to be
so much dedication.
your ass is going to be back here at 8:00 in the morning on Monday. So I'd
Right,
be
work.
out of a race in
Even
Meadowlands.
in another,
I'd be in the
Oh
Meadowlands,
my
New
God.
York, racing IndyCar, Indy Lights. I'd get my ass on the airplane, take the red eye home,
Yeah.
and I'd park it, and I'd roll in at 6 a.m. By 8:00, I'm at the desk, and he would call. Now, it was more to find out how I did, but he wanted to make sure my butt was in the chair when we were happening. And because he was
Absolutely.
old school Italian, that's the way we ran our companies. But when I talked to, like, Richard Petty, I said, how do you know?
Sounds like a threat, and that's how we run our companies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I can tell you.
It's like two
it
Guidos.
is.
Like,
I can
did
assure you
You
this.
see the cup with Guido and I in the Hemi Cuda? Did you see
Sure,
that?
yeah.
We had a blast doing that. It was a lot of that got hit the floor. It was cut out because it was pretty out of control. So I asked him. I said, how did you know when to quit? And Petty, in that usual draw that he's got, he's just such a cool, slow guy. Well, he said, John, you don't lose the balls, and you don't lose the timing. So you got the chutzpah and the timing, and you got the timing. He said, your timing will cut off a notch or so. He said, what you do lose is the ability to concentrate for prolonged periods of time.
Oh, no
So
shit.
if you're out there, and I didn't really understand that until I was coming down shoreline at about 165, 70 miles an hour, and we're flat to the floor and just wide open on practice day. So the crowd was relatively light. As you come around the pits,
What car were you in?
It was an Indy Light car.
Okay.
So we come around the corner, and I'm looking up in the stands, coming into break point. And like I said, you miss your break point by the 10th of a second, you're in the wall. And I'm looking at it, and I go, oh, wow, it's Charlie.
Oh my gosh.
So at that point in time, you go, flipper? It ain't happening. So that's where I first got that epiphany. And then I watched Mario. It was a race. It was one of the major street races. He was in the IndyCar, and he was in his early 50s, mid 50s.
Okay.
There was a car that had stalled over the right-hand side of the track. Mario had passed it on 6 or 7 occasions, and that car was still there with the yellow flag flying on it.
Don't tell
He
me.
came up on the back of a car, and he was passing a back marker, so he was moving at real high rate of speed. It was a right-hander, and he was coming off at full throttle, picked it up, and he moved over all of a sudden, and it sheared the car, half his car off. It took right off all of the upright, the corner, and everything else, and sheared the bodywork and the tub section all the way off that car and the left-hand side of that car. There was nobody in it, but it sheared the cars in half, and it flinched. Right-hand side of the car was gone. He pulled over. At that point in time, I said, I understand what he's talking about. He knew it was there the whole time.
That's it. And then when he was focused on his move, he lost the
He
concentration
lost
of
concentration.
what was there.
It's that
oh my
concentration.
God. It's not like a spotter said, oh, they cleared it and it's good.
The spotter was either they figured he had heard it enough.
Sure.
And it's that ability to concentrate at that level. You got to remember, it's physically it's brutal, but the level you're sweating profusely. I've had all kinds of probes. You got heart monitors, all sorts of monitors, the brake stuff, turn in all the things on the car, and they're watching the heart rate. They're watching, stuff, and they even did a cerebral deal on me, where they put a hood on you and there's little contacts all over the place. They wanted to see what your brain was going through while you're driving a race car.
That was for a different reason, though, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but the kids right now doing these video games, other than the physical aspect of it, the mental aspect of it is equal to or greater than. So the kids would all stay away from me, and Michelle would stay away from me when I got out of the car at the end of the race weekend. Until those endorphins and everything else starts to throttle back, I was still in an aggressive kill mode.
Sure.
I mean, your brain is just kill, 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 kill. And the interesting thing is
You got to cool down. You need a cool down lap.
You spend all this time on the track, and then you go drive to the airport, and you're freaked out because this car's moving from all different positions. You're not just cruising along because we're all going the same way.
No longer a safe space.
In a race car, you're safe because you're all going one way.
And you all have that agreement.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all know what we're all doing.
Big picture, now you've got all these rookies and amateurs that are going all different directions and crossing your path, and you're on the way to the airport. And you're
Rookies and amateurs. You're calling people on the street rookies and amateurs.
Rookies and amateurs.
Yes,
well,
I love it.
Compared to driving race cars at that kind of speed, yeah. Well, of course, some of
No,
them.
no, I just love the analogy.
I don't mean
It's
to. I don't
great.
mean to insult the non-race community,
The
but
plebs.
you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It took a couple of days. They would stay away from me, but my
Wow.
wife would say, and the kids would just stay the hell away from me when I got home.
I was young. I don't remember.
Hilarious.
Yeah. Well, it's funny when he's talking about kids using going on having like video games and things like that.
Yeah.
And simulators like, oh yeah, this totally simulates the corkscrew in Laguna Seca, and it's like, trust me, it doesn't.
You got
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a
I'm
weird
sorry.
one.
5 weeks ago, you got a chance to
Yeah,
drive
I
the screw
did.
in
It
the
was
race
the most
car.
insane thing
11-story
ever.
drop.
It
You
was,
drove it in a
I
race car?
did in the Corvette.
The yellow Corvette, the red Corvette, the race car. We
And
drove.
the new one you're building.
Yeah.
You drove that?
I did.
Oh,
It was
cool.
amazing. It was
I would
amazing.
love to drive
This
that
was
around the
before
Laguna
car
Seca.
Just being in a yeah, it was right before car week up there. But I was like, I'm happy with being a passenger because at 65 he still drives like he's 25 on a track. It's
I think it'll be that
unbelievable.
way forever.
Yeah, absolutely. It was incredible. So we're in the car, and he's been telling me about the corkscrew and Laguna Seca my entire life.
It's like
it
the
is.
carousel at
Yeah.
Nuremberg.
It's
It's just
legendary.
it's
It
one
is
of those.
It is. And I kind of was
Whenever
like,
there's something
yeah,
that's
cool.
only at one track in the world, that seems to be like, oh, it's a quirk, it's a weird thing. And
They
then-
Yes.
said it was because the Army Corps of Engineers screwed up when they built that portion of the track up there. They had to patch it together. Now, that's the.
Is that
the
true? They
stick-
started at one end and they never thought it would
No,
get
I-
around.
I don't know whether that's BS or not, but it's got a mystique to it. When I took the car out, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
interject one time. I took the car out with her in it. I was out on cold tires. We had slicks on it, and I wanted to make sure her first shot off the screw was dynamic. Now, I haven't been up there in 15, 18 years.
Well, in a car that we've never had on a track.
We hadn't shook it down. So we went out there, got up at turn 5.
C6, right?
Yes, C6 full tilt.
fully loaded,
LS, ZO.
That splitter, I
yeah.
tripped on it like 4 times.
Yeah,
It's so
the
big.
splitter 6 out 8 inches. It's full. It's
Giant.
full aero
Oh, I
kit.
forgot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot.
So you-
Yeah, I
The
forgot.
bar,
You
the
tripped on
belly
it at
up
the
to the
museum,
bar,
yeah.
the
You
giant
can flip
thing.
pizzas with it, and it's a cocktail table. You put it on a lift and have
Yeah.
cocktails on it.
I forgot. You really did go full spec.
Yes.
So I went out there, warmed up the tires, and Laguna comes back. You've driven enough like I have. It comes back within 3 laps. You already know exactly where you're at. There's a single tree that's got a gnarl in the tree.
like an oak or something.
It's an old oak. It's a California live oak, and it sits right off the trajectory point. So I come up the back, we hit the kink, and I'm rolling on it pretty hard. I come up over the rise, warmed up the tires quite a bit, and I
there's
hit
Charlie.
it. I hit it real deep. Flicked it left, hit the gators, and looked for the tree, and there it was with
There's
the
a cone
gnarl
there
in it.
now.
Smashed the throttle to the floor, and we dropped off 11 stories. over, boom, 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 and all I heard from her, she's not afraid of anything. I hear this
I wasn't afraid of
squeak.
so much fun. I was screaming.
What you see and what the driver lines up are two different things.
Totally.
It looks like you're just
well, it's
cruising
blind.
down the road.
It's
Yeah,
a roller coaster, and
That's
then
it.
you.
But only because he lined it up right. You
Yeah.
can take the road how it goes,
Yeah.
and then you're not going to do what he did.
Totally.
Shoot the moon.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I
You
feel like
look
we
at
just
that,
launched
you can't see
off
anything.
the.
If there's a pile up on down below you, you're done.
You're going to go on top
You're
of
in
it.
How do we
Yeah.
skip to Apex? It's like,
Yeah.
it
You
was,
got all that hood on a vet too.
Yeah,
Like a
yeah, yeah.
911
So
Oh,
by the time
totally.
by the
You
time
can't
you
see
get
anything.
off the top and you just crest the top down to that final left-hander.
Oh, I can't even imagine going over the crest
It's a
with the
left
hood
story.
of a vet.
Yeah.
It's 11
it's a
stories, but
lot.
it settles down quite fast.
Because you know where you're at.
Yeah, well, when I hit the,
I can see it the whole time in a 911.
As soon as you hit
Yeah,
the bottom,
no,
as you
I
roll off
can't.
the top, you're full throttle. You don't lift.
It's crazy.
The right-hander you don't lift. You come around the left-hander. You did a light breeze lift, depending on how the car sticks. Rotate the car and get it in. It's a nice bank turn.
You're flat
To go
out at
down
that
to-
left-hander?
To go down to 10, 11, yes.
No.
The bottom, you're flat off the top. The right-hander, you're flat. And when you come off on the last turn, left-hander, you're virtually flat. Light lift. You rotate the car a little bit, and then you're flat all the way to 10. And then you back off on 10, you stab back through it, depending on the car. Some of the cars we went flat from the time we left the screw in the Formula Atlantics. We never lifted till we got to 11.
It was.
That's you knowing where to be on that
unbelievable.
track, and I guess a car that really
Plus or
handles
minus
too.
2 feet, you're off.
It was funny
Right.
because when we started kind of doing laps
And that
and
off
stuff,
is high speed
Yeah.
off. You're not going to go off the 2 feet.
It's
You're going to go off
it's
200
concrete
feet.
on the exit.
Yeah.
totally. When we started to kind of hit it fast, and people were like, "What the hell?" You know. So when you get to the straightaway, you have to really brake, like before you get on the straightaway. People were trying to.
You talking
keep
about the last
up.
turn before the
last
main
turn
straight?
before the
Oh,
main straight.
it's the hairpin. You almost have to
Absolutely.
stop.
Well, yeah,
on
and
11
they were
left-handed.
trying to
Yeah.
catch him, and so people were spinning out.
But if
out.
you're doing that flick and then you're barreling before, you're driving it like a 911 almost,
Yeah.
barreling
Yes.
it out of the turn.
Yes.
Totally.
Then they're
Yeah.
not going to.
You're
People
full
were
throttle
like,
before you hit the
"Ugh," you know.
apex.
Yeah.
And
So
we lost.
funny.
There was guys that were tagging along us, and what?
They didn't like that.
Back to that Corvette. The license plate says GT3 Eater.
Yeah, he
Meaning
wants it to be
Porsche's.
GT3
Oh,
But
killer.
what happens
yeah.
is the Porsche, some GT3s were chasing us, and they kept looping it on 11 coming off there.
But I mean,
because-
these guys aren't race car drivers. A lot of them are just like love to get out on the track. There was like a Mini Cooper, like took the fenders off. There was like a Ford Focus. There was all kinds. There
all
was a
kinds of stuff.
Tesla. There
Sure.
was
It was
a
fun.
random
It was just a
stuff.
great
It was
day.
very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. But
I'm
getting
glad-
to be a
I'm
Did you
glad that-
have fun?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I definitely outside the comfort zone. He goes, "Okay, you ready? Get in there." We couldn't move the seat back because whatever reason we had the rails weren't.
You hard mounted it where you're.
Well, we had to
Well, I had to
because
at the
we
time.
didn't we didn't
We
have
had
the
the
we
right
didn't have the seat slider. So we mounted it and I patted shit up around her and
I
stuffed
trying
her
to
in the
get,
car. And,
Yeah.
said,
and then
"Get it."
he had like a pedal extender for the clutch. You
Hilarious.
Know, so I'm all
Blocks
trying,
on the
and I
wheel.
2x4
just-
bolted the pedal.
And so like
Well,
my
we were go-kart rules when I was a kid. Yeah.
so my foot is like to get in the gas. My foot is like pointed, you know, because I can't. I'm so short. I get the clutch, but it was not. It wasn't like the most perfect feeling, but it was unbelievable.
I'm glad that car is going to be so good for you because
Yes.
you know you didn't want to. The Bondurant car, obviously, we
Yeah.
have the whole story
Yes.
on that. But the
Yeah.
fact that you built this one, really purposeful.
Yeah, and
What
it's
were-
an expensive fix if you break something. Generally,
Well, you take the corner off your 911, okay? That's going to cost you 35, 40 grand.
If it's
Okay.
the front quarter,
Yeah,
the back your motor too.
Yeah, I mean that's $60K just to
True.
rebuild that motor.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
what it is. Now you take this Corvette. The nice part about it, you blow a fender off that, where you take the upper and lower control off, you strip it off the car, you hit something. You can get the parts in about 30 seconds. You bolt all that stuff back together. As long as you haven't bent the pickup points, that whole car is going back together. And the frame, the fender, bolted on, and you're off and running. So basically, if you do what are the new 911s, the GT3s, they're 200,000-300,000.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could buy 5 of these cars for that price and go
Yeah,
have
I
fun,
know.
and go have
Yeah.
fun racing. Now you can also stay with them. They're properly driven with the new motor. That existing LS2 is just the get around motor that we've been working with until the LS7 is done. That motor
Jeez,
puts
Schwiz.
that motor puts out 325 at the rear wheels. This new one will be 600. Now you got to be real careful with 600. You got to squeeze it. Now I'm going to have a dual tune in it, so you can drop it down and it'll take it down about 35%.
Oh,
So
really?
You can. It's easier
I
to
mean,
play
a
with.
little valet button.
Belly
Yeah.
button, basically.
the gated
so
shifter,
that we can,
or
so the,
gated muffler. You
Yeah,
know, just
yeah.
check well out up. You know.
the reason we
Quiet for the
did that
cops.
car and flipped everything over is so it's safe for them. I mean, we watched that LS7 or that GT or the what was it, the C7 flip at Willow Springs, and he was only doing
yeah.
55 miles an hour. Put it on the head, and they had to pry the guys out. And if it had been a 5-point or 4-point harness, they'd have all been dead. But they were a regular seatbelt, and they sloshed.
We just lost 2 friends who had
Yes.
a roof impact
Yeah.
accident just the other day.
Oh my
This is
god.
up
It's the
on-
one
I'm
place.
so
yeah, it's
sorry.
the one. It's the
Crest.
one place you
Driving
can't.
on the
You can't crash
They
a Porsche
were
on
red
the roof.
Porsche.
Yeah.
When the P Club was at our event, that was a
Club?
member of the P Club, the father-son. And they
Very good friend of ours.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm
make a
so
long
sorry.
story short, we heard about it, and it was just a tragedy. That's one of the reasons, because the kids are all driving these cars. My daughter, my sons, and they're going out and going to have a good time. We also got a program we're putting
Well,
together.
I should say he was not my first Porsche GT3 guy. That guy was born and raised on the mountain almost.
Yeah,
I mean, he's been riding
absolutely.
bikes up there, Audis up
Something
there, Porsches
fluke.
up
Something
there.
happened.
It was a.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Something
happened.
happened.
Yeah.
This guy was on the track all the time. He was an excellent driver.
Absolutely.
Something
the
happened.
guy slept that mountain. He knows what's that. Something went sideways, went bad, low tire pressure. Something went off, and I don't
that's
know
what-
if we'll ever know it.
That I think we won't ever know it, and that's what we're trying to tell people all the time. Though, that's what the Respect the Crest comes about. It's not a racetrack. It's not
No.
about don't speed on this road. It's about you have to have this respect for this road of anything
is.
can happen at any moment because the
Absolutely.
mountain itself will try to kill you.
Clint Eastwood once said it best. Man's got to know his limitations. I mean, a woman also. They got to know your limitations. You got to know where the limit of your car is, and you got to also take into
What movie
effect,
is that? I love that one.
Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah, I love that.
You've got to know where
That's
it is.
his
That's my
ringtone.
phone.
Love
ring.
it. Love it.
Ringtone. I told
Love
him
it.
to leave it in there. Got to put it on silent. 'Cause
And
it'll
Love
start
it.
the thing
going
is, I honestly believe with his skill level and his skill set, and especially with his son in the car, something went sideways.
Well, yeah, especially because, I mean, even when we drive together, he never fully pushes it to the limit because he's got precious cargo in his eyes.
Sonny was always that way too. He was, he'd go 9/10, but never 10. But the kid was just as fast as Sonny. I mean, they
Amazing.
both, the kid got his license. Their first stop was Newcomb's Ranch.
Well, everyone that I know that, like, whether you're an amazing race car driver or you're an incredible surfer or whatever, it's not doing the thing that you love or racing or on the track or on the wave that things happen. It's when you're going and,
Yeah,
going
you're
out
going to
for
the grocery
weekend
store or
and
whatever.
you're-
Yeah, sure.
you were going to go free diving or whatever. You're doing, casual stuff. It just,
This particular one had a weird Final Destination feel because 3 years, almost to the day earlier, he had taken a yellow 911 and a tire failure, same type of thing. Something happened,
gosh.
and he went off 300 feet and survived
jeez.
it.
Oh my gosh.
The guy he was driving with busted up to Newcomb's. Amazingly, this was literally a turn and a half away from the spot that killed him.
Well, that's chilling.
3 years,
Yeah,
almost to the
that's-
day. So it felt like very Final Destination.
Yeah.
But the fact that he survived that other one was like, well, Jesus Christ, he probably
No,
felt
it's a way.
invincible after that.
Yeah, right.
You
And
know?
it's gonna be fine. Nothing's gonna phase me. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Crazy.
I'm sorry, guys. For
No,
doing
but
this.
all of that to say, the reason you built that Corvette is so smart because this is what can happen.
Absolutely.
We put the Corvette. Everybody likes to think, well, the Corvette's got a roll bar in it, that halo in the back. It's got a bar in it. Jay,
Kinda.
the diameter is about as big as this mic stand right here.
Oh.
But it's that diameter. It's not solid. It's hollow. It'll take a light roll. But when you do a flip and a pancake, and then it hits a second flip and a pancake, and then rests upside down in a pancake, it squished it right to the top. And thank God, like I said, they had standard seatbelts on. They
Slid.
sloshed on the first impact.
To get
and when
them
they
out of the way.
sloshed,
Yeah.
okay, head and lap, uncomfortable as it was, there's an inside camera the guy had on, and it's got it all videoed, front and rear camera and inside.
If they were stuck.
If they were
in
stuck,
place,
this would have been gone.
Yeah.
So I told the kids the next day, we were up there at Willow, and he was doing 60 miles an hour on cold tires coming out of the pits. I've got, 40 years at Willow with thousands of miles in track records.
Yeah.
I know that thing intimately.
Right.
The bottom line is we're traveling through that corner on those Corvettes at 110, 115 miles an hour
It is
and
what it
20
is.
miles an hour. So I said, that's it, we're done. So we took it. I found this. I told you the story on the Z06. It's an interesting
barbecue
story.
car?
The barbecue
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
So we grabbed it, turned it, put all the race gear and the Penske double adjustables and everything on the raid car, and turned it into what it is today. And it's still got some more to go, but it's got a cage in it.
Yeah.
So if the kids get upside down with full harnesses and Halo seat belts and a Hans device, God forbid something happened, they got a better shot at walking away.
Yeah,
Well-
if you're wearing a helmet and a Hans and you got
Yeah.
a cage and everything, I mean,
gonna
there's
do
not much more you
You've
can
done
do
the
to
best
protect
you can
yourself.
Yeah, at
do.
that point, I
Exactly.
hope I don't walk away from it.
Right,
You
kinda,
know what I mean?
kinda, yeah.
But he's taught us from what, I mean, we were on dirt bikes at a really young age, go-karting. We're always doing fun stuff together in the cars, whatever it was. But there was always a respect for the vehicle, and there's always a tot where like these are the things that can happen to you if
Yes.
you do this. You're taking it.
Cause and
It can
effect.
happen.
But that's huge. My
Yeah.
dad was a firefighter and did the same thing
Yeah.
for me. All of your experience, you then transferred over. She
Absolutely.
didn't need to go earn it all for herself. Now, maybe you don't have the same exact idea, but at least
Yeah.
it's in your head.
Yeah, because you know what the end result can be. So if you're gonna take the chance, you're gonna do it. Great. You're not living your life in fear, but there's a respect for what can happen.
Cause and effect. If you're going to step into it, you got to run the risk that you could lose your life or get hurt.
That's why I don't get on street bikes.
And
I'll go in the
you
dirt.
know,
I won't
that's
go
what
on
we
street
did.
bikes.
I mean, I
People
got,
are
like I
stupid.
said, steel plates and broken neck and everything else, and fused wrists. I've got this.
I'll let him make the mistakes.
So
I'm
you're
not
like
gonna do it.
you're Steve Austin. They rebuilt you
I ain't-
better,
Yeah,
faster,
they rebuilt
stronger.
I'm not that good looking, and I was never married to Farrah Fawcett. However, I am.
Was it Lee Majors? Is that who that
Lee
was?
Majors.
Yeah, he was.
However,
great.
I am married to a beautiful woman. My wife is in
Tall
my eyes.
blonde.
Even if we've been together 40.
40, 37, or 40?
We
Together
40 plus years,
Yeah.
and she's still at 12 in my eyes.
We've got to wrap it up, but how is your wife doing? Because I know she's going through some health stuff too.
She's done very well. They put a new electronics in her back.
She got a new
stimulator on
thing.
New stimulator.
Monday.
Okay.
And
Last
they've
Mon- this
started
Monday?
they've started tuning.
Last Monday.
I mean, it's remarkable how far it's come. It's phones every 6 months they're obsolete. So this unit it's been in her back. It's a spinal stimulator. Basically,
It's
interrupts-
electrostim, right?
Electrostim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically down low, and it intercepts the pain signals coming out of her broken back and the damage she's had, going to the brain. So it kind of shorts them out. The unique part about it is
It's not taking any damage away. It's just taking those signals and
Mechanically-
giving her pain away.
mechanically she's fine. She's bolted back together. Everything's right. However, the electronics are messed up due to crushed nerves.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So-
it's nerve
It's nerve-
facoctedness, which is
Yeah.
kind of what
Yeah.
you suffer from too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
she
mean,
had a lot of
yeah, I mean,
sciatica,
with
a lot
this-
of bad stuff.
Yeah, with this young lady, I mean, the sheaths are coming off, and she's got electrical stimulation going everywhere. And I can't even imagine.
Well, I feel
can't
like
even imagine.
the problem, I mean, nerve pain is just unlike anything else.
Brutal.
No matter what you take,
Yeah.
it just makes you care less.
Yeah.
It doesn't take the pain away.
Exactly, because you're still
Yeah,
on
thank you.
fire no matter what.
Absolutely, no,
And
all the
people
time.
don't understand that
Yeah.
if your leg's on fire, your brain doesn't work. Because
Yeah.
your brain's going, my fucking
The
leg's on fire.
exhaustion, it's exhausting. I mean,
Exhaustion
all
and
the
the
time.
disconnect. Like
Yeah.
you're focused on, you can't help but I focus on the pain. Like I try so hard not to think about it. Like what do you do?
Yeah.
I can't move without that happening.
Let's
So
talk about the link that goes with that, the depression.
Ugh,
That
that's another
constant-
show.
That constant pain. I watch her, it sucks the life out of you.
Well, I mean, I strained my back like working out like a couple months ago. My lower back was jacked for a month.
Yeah.
I would come home from work because it was just constant. I've never suffered with chronic pain before.
Oh. Lucky.
I went. I know. It's
blessing, yeah.
a blessing. I would come home from work. I would take a 2-hour nap and then come back. I was just
'Cause you're exhausted.
exhausted.
Absolutely.
Because all day long, and there's no relief. I couldn't even lay flat. There's nothing, and it puts just a tiny bit of perspective in like what someone like you is for my mom. What it's your
All
daily
the
life.
time.
It's all the time, no
All the
matter
time,
what.
and never
You
goes
just
away.
hope that you're like, okay, well, let's hope we can sleep tonight, and maybe we'll have some relief.
Real quick one, cause and effect. Cause. And how it impacts the other side. How it impacts me. And what we have to do, and let's we're not unsung heroes, but the drive we have to maintain to be there for our wives at all times and all problems and all issues. To be there all that time and to deal with the depression, deal with all the stuff going on in her life, and try to look at it through her eyes, and try not to get frustrated ourselves because we get selfish.
No, I fail at
And
that
we-
every
and
day. Ask
You
her.
get selfish.
I fail
you
every
get,
day.
You get angry because you can't take her places. You can't go places. You can't go on
can't fix
vacation. You
it.
can't go stuff. You
And
can't.
he's
fix-
a fixer.
you want to
and
be
he's
able
a
to
fixer.
I'm a
you want to
fixer,
be able to
Jay.
He's
take.
like, I can fix it.
Yeah.
I
And
can
it's like,
fix anything.
but he can't fix it.
I can't fix that.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
And
the
it's-
worst part.
it's-
And you just
it-
have to
the
turn into a
goosebumps,
team.
It's brutal. It then becomes a team, and I'm still adjusting to it.
Well, then we fail together as a team, but we also win
Exactly.
together as a team.
She's doing well, and she's can tune it with her phone. She can make all the adjustments with her cell phone now and all the
amazing.
stuff. So she's going in for another tune-up and to get the electronic stimulator dialed in.
That's amazing.
But it's amazing the technology, how far it's come. Otherwise, she wouldn't be up out of bed.
Oh my God.
I'm glad to hear it.
So
That's
You
awesome.
know.
Yeah.
you hang in there, baby.
Thank you. I will.
Heels and Wheels
Uh-oh.
10:15, right?
Yes,
Guido Cocomello,
10:15.
10:22,
Yep.
October 22nd. Other stuff, you can just go to the Marconi
Yeah.
website, right?
Toy drive,
Or
we'll
the
get it out there.
Marconi Museum on
Yes.
Instagram. What other ways should we follow Monique Marconi if you want to?
Oh
right?
yeah,
She's looking for those followers.
Be careful. Stuff's on private. I may or may not accept you.
Oh, then I feel lucky to be on the inside.
Not everybody gets to be on the inside. Okay.
I didn't know.
I know I'm gonna have to make a separate one for like Marconi, the museum face one.
It was like your dad on all the group stuff. He was like, "Well, I don't really work at the museum." I go, "Then why are you on all the group emails and chiming in on everything?"
Yeah,
he absolutely
right.
runs
That's
it.
a
He
lie.
runs the museum.
That's a lie.
Oh,
He's
no.
in the back.
No, let's
Well,
back
she
it.
runs the museum.
likes
but
it.
you definitely work
If
there.
this is timeout,
Always
you know what
control
this is? Wait a effing minute.
Did everybody see?
Right here. Right here.
Wait an effing minute.
She runs the operation. I may be president.
He's just a nosy Nancy,
And
you know what I
co-founder.
mean?
But the bottom line is, all
Right.
the nuts and bolts, all the stuff, all the things. I'm the guy, the outside that gets crazy like you. What can we think up next? And
then
that,
I have to try to make it.
Yeah, I
happen.
was going to say, you make her life hell.
that's
I got
my-
it.
Yeah,
make-
but
make
but
her
you
life
headache,
definitely work
headache
there.
all the time.
But
You may
she's
not-
the one. The customers love her.
You
And
may
what
not
she
draw a
does.
salary, but you 100% work there.
Absolutely.
I have never worked so
Absolutely.
hard and made so little and felt so good.
And felt so good.
And felt so good.
That's true.
And that's what
Yeah.
we do.
I have the most.
You do
We
it
have the
every
most
day.
fulfilling jobs ever.
We had a lot of fun doing our show with you guys and can't wait
Thank
to do
you
the
so
next
much.
one.
Till the next
2022.
one.
No, 2023.
23.
I'm so out of it.
Yeah, it's
We
me too,
need to
me
start.
too.
We need to put some meetings together. Take a look at the checklist. What we didn't like, what we do like. I've gotten
make
a
it
lot of
happen.
feedback.
I want to
from
take
a lot
another
of
look at the
different people.
check. My
I
God.
know, let's take a
so
quick look
nice
here.
of you. My goodness gracious. All right.
We all earned it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All of us.
we did.
That's still, it's amazing. It's incredible. Thank you. So, yeah, follow the Marconi Museum and go to the Marconi Museum. You guys are open Tuesday through Sunday, right? Is
Tuesday
that
through
right?
Saturday.
Tuesday through Saturday.
Yeah. But check our special event calendar because there's a lot of closures. Okay,
Right,
It's on.
because
There's
it's
a
a
full
live event.
calendar till next year, and you can see when we're closed. So
Because it's a live event
Because,
venue, you
yes.
often do have to close your
Yes,
private events.
yeah.
And a lot of the events we do, we don't publish because they're private events. But
Yeah.
so it's like 3 or 4 a week.
Right.
From
And
here
it's
to the end of
been
the
yeah.
year.
So we're just but check them. But we'd love to have you guys. Anybody come in. Yeah, we're open mostly Tuesday through Saturday.
they'd love
Hey,
to see
come-
any days where they're there.
You can talk to Vince. Vince
Yeah.
is tearing apart right now the 550 Maranello, my dad's favorite car. It's right now
Is he done with the 355?
355 finished.
Holy crap.
He's
He's
finished
moved
it done.
fast.
He does.
So he did the F40, the F50, the 355, and now
355.
we're on to the Maranello?
Well,
Yeah,
he's
he's
on
on
his
the Maranello.
348 challenge car, which if he has to wait
Oh,
for
that's what
parts
I meant,
and
the
stuff,
348, yeah.
348 you're still working on.
The
It's-
Herbalife,
the back
it
end
was the
is
348, the
everything's
challenge
still
car.
out.
And
Yeah.
I've got
That's how it was when we saw it, and the
Yeah, whole thing
rear
is,
clip was out. Yeah.
she
God.
she pimped me out. She
He's
pimped
got
me out
5
again.
rides in that car.
She pimps me out and says, "Look, driver of the World Championship race car driver, boom, 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 in the 348 challenge, the one that won the U.S. and World Championship."
That's right.
did.
That's
And the
right.
car's there,
It's a
right?
winning car.
So Vince is putting
with a
the
winning
motor back
driver.
in it and doing all this stuff. She got $12,000 for the last
There
one.
was
on,
no
on a,
two
on a
separate
charity
six
event.
$6,000 each. It was like homemade Orange County. They're fight to end homelessness. They had their
They got
big
a great
fundraiser.
program,
It
by
was
the way.
awesome.
Great program.
They,
Building house for the homeless.
Yeah, they had a big fundraiser on Saturday night, and so we auctioned them off not once but twice. So $6,000 a piece for a ride with him. And it was hilarious because
Outstanding.
the auctioneers, 2 guys, it was their wives.
I smell a fix.
It was funny, and they were
But
like,
it wasn't a
"Honey,
fix. That's what blew
honey,
us away."
put it down, put it down."
That's
and she
amazing.
was like, "I'm ready."
I hope they were bidding with the opposite auctioneer. You know what I mean?
They were, yeah.
Oh,
it
that's
was
great.
hilarious.
That's great.
I'm up on the stage. I'm going out. They're pimping me out. I got my Father Guido Zarducci suit on.
I
and
love
then-
this country.
And they're just, I love this country. It's been very good to me. Anyway, make a long story short, I'm just looking like, I don't believe this.
Yeah.
I feel like a hoe.
Yeah, just
But it was for
pulling
a
them
great
out.
cause. It was a great
I usually
cause.
don't tell him. I'm like, by the way, you're getting on the stage tonight and talking about it. He's like,
So,
oh, okay.
Now what I
Oh,
gotta
don't
do
tell
is-
them ahead of
I don't
time.
tell
Now I
them.
got to
No.
take them out on the windy road and go take them for a ride. See,
so
that's
fun.
what this is all about, this auction for a ride.
Yeah.
We were yes, all of the above.
Yep.
All of
Sorry,
the above.
go ahead.
This was the worst goodbye ever. That was so great because that was like really fun information. Tomorrow we're up at GVBC. Saturday, I think this is up in the air, but we may go to Palm Springs. May go to Porsche Palm Springs is having a Cars and Coffee, and some friends of ours may be there, so we
That
may
won't
do
be
that.
hot.
Well, it's breaking, isn't it? Breaking.
I think
Isn't it
so.
Breaking.
It's
It's 7 in
breaking.
the morning.
Yeah, good.
Whatever.
You keep telling yourself that.
Well, she can't handle the heat. You know,
Yeah.
we'll have to sit her
Yeah.
inside.
Absolutely.
So we'll see on that one. But then we're back next week, which is October, by the way. It's already October. And great guests in October. I don't remember who's here next week. I think Ariel Zeta. Producer Ariel, Babes and Classics is doing. She
Catwoman.
just did the Gentleman's Drive. She was a Grand Marshal for the Gentleman's Drive.
Very cool.
And she's got another event coming up. So I think we're talking about that. As well as, let's see, Rod Emery's going to be here in
Rod.
October.
Really?
Magnus Walker will be here with his mom in October. We all get to meet his mom.
Nice.
And
That's
lots of other
awesome.
people as well.
Tell
Good
Rod
stuff.
hi for me, will you?
Good
Yeah.
stuff. Rod Emery,
Yeah,
absolutely.
he's a good dude.
Oh,
He's
he's
a
known,
great
he's
dude.
known him since he was
Ask
a
him
kid.
how he met John Marconi.
Yeah.
That's
Really?
That's a discussion on its own.
I will. If you know that, I mean,
I
he's a
sent him
neighbor
on my
now. You
race
know, they
card.
moved.
Is
They
he?
moved right around the corner.
I
Like
sent
3
him on
blocks
my
from
race
here.
car at the Long Beach Grand Prix, and Rod just goes, "You changed my life."
Oh,
yeah,
man.
and
He was
God,
just a
his
little
work
tight.
is
He's like that tall.
his work is unbelievable.
Oh, the man.
His work and his work ethic. You
Ethic.
want to talk about old
We can
school
never-
upbringing and drive? Just drive.
Just
the
trying
guy's
to-
up at 3:45 in the morning to go to work.
Oh, we can't even get come out to. We're gonna have to come out and just come out and see him because he's so busy.
Yeah.
we can't even get a hold of him.
It was a lot to get
I'm
to
sure.
get the date
To get it
right because he's
work,
doing
yeah.
so
Oh,
many
Well, you
things.
carry
all
more
crazy.
weight than I do, but that's part of the point.
So a lot of good stuff happening in October. We love everybody. I love you. We love you, Marconis.
Love you guys.
Thank you so much for this amazing. Look at this, everybody. One more time.
Amazing.
One more time.
For the people in the back.
Yeah, that's right. It's incredible.
Amazing.
It's for a good cause, guys.
It is.
That's what it's all about.
It is, but you guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Maybe that might. Here,
I know, right? It's perfect.
Put some windows in it.
We love everybody. Please love one another. We'll see you out there. GBFC tomorrow. Thank you, Marconis.
Thank you.
Thank
later.
guys.
Bye.